Two teams, both alike in dignity, in fair Bordeaux, where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge breaks to new game, from forth the last meeting of these two foes, a whitewash overthrows.
Six Nations domination complete again. Another Grand Slam for England.
This fearful passage of play marks greatness and the continuance of their captain's hope. Do with a win bury their coach's strife. This Six Nations end none could predict, where with this game the trophy they may claim in fair Bordeaux, where we lay our sea.
By the Red Roses.
England, the French are coming for you in Bordeaux.
Love and conflict, will we see both today? The last round of the Women's Six Nations has brought us to Bordeaux for a winner-takes-all showdown. France unbeaten in their 4 Women's Six Nations matches, but up against an old foe they haven't beaten on home soil since 2018. The Red Roses arrive on a white-hot streak, having scored a whopping 38 tries in the first 4 rounds. And we're expecting a record crowd of 28,000 here at the Stade Chaban-Delmas and in the world capital of wine. Will this be a vintage Women's Six Nations campaign for John Mitchell's England? And kick-off is just over 20 minutes away. We've had it all today. We've had thunder, we've had dark clouds, we've had bright sunshine, we've had torrential rain, and we've nervously put the umbrellas down because nothing is going to dampen the spirits in this studio today of Katie Daly-McLean, Maggie Alfonsi and Sarah Byrne, who, but for injury, would be out there warming up right now. Katie, is today the day that England finally get a test? Are we going to see some kind of arm wrestle today?
I really think so. You know, coming to France is very different to going anywhere else. You get this atmosphere, you get this buzz. And do you know what? They are on a team on the rise. They're playing well. I think you're totally right. They're going to challenge this England side.
This phrase that keeps coming up, Maggie, this week is the handbrake is off, which seems a bit strange for a team that scored 88 points last week against Ireland. What does that mean? What are we going to see from England out here?
Yeah, look, it's a narrative that has followed England throughout this tournament, but I think what it means is that John Mitchell has got this team to play with freedom, ambition, variety in their attack. But there's one thing playing without the handbrake, but you need control and game management. So today's going to be all about discipline.
Yeah, and England have had 2 reds and 2 yellows so far in this campaign, and this crowd will be looking to get more cards, looking to get more plays in the sin bin. They like to get on players' backs. You know that 2 years ago in that match, you heard the crowd being hostile, but England had an answer.
Yeah, we ran out onto the pitch last time in Bayonne, and the crowd were very vocal, started booing us, and I think a few of us turned around as we were going in and said, "Come on, then bring it to us." This crowd seemed really jolly today, but they've all managed to get their hands on some French flags, so I'm sure they'll be vocal at some point.
Absolutely. We know it's going to be tight though, because 3 of the last victories England have won by 6 points or fewer. It's always tight between these two, and matches were tight earlier today as well in the denouement of the Six Nations. Wales beating Italy by 22 points to 20, which means they don't get a whitewash in the tournament, but they do get the wooden spoon still, but ending their campaign with something of a high. And it's 15-12 Ireland-Scotland with minutes to play, and that of course would mean that Ireland would get that 3rd place in the table, which is the automatic qualification spot for next year's World Cup. But we'll keep you up to date with that one. I'm delighted to say John Mitchell has joined us in the studio. John, it's a special place to come and play Rugby France, whatever the occasion, a Grand Slam decider, England's incredible run. How this week have you increased intensity to kind of account for what you're going to experience here today?
Well, certainly you play for these days, Gabby, and I think what's more important is to try and keep the emotions calm, so people can be decisive under pressure. So we've really gone about our same work, really, understanding that we want to enjoy this exposure in front of a French crowd.
Yeah, because this crowd will know the disciplinary record of England, having had 2 yellows, 2 reds, and it's a game that you can't afford to lose anyone from this pitch.
Well, we might lose somebody. That's the way the game is, so we're ready for that. If it happens, it happens. You just got to deal with it. I think cards are going to become more common in our game.
Annika Kane is the only change from that Ireland side. I guess when you have such an emphatic victory as you did, putting 88 points on Ireland, it's difficult to see where you could have made changes, but it was a complete performance in many ways, wasn't it, across the pitch?
Last week was good. It's obviously a benchmark of where we want to get to, but today will be a different story. We've been waiting for an arm wrestle. We're dying for it. We're ready for it, so we just can't wait.
And as head coach in your first Six Nations campaign, coming to France, a 28,000 crowd here, which is the most ever to watch women's rugby in France. These are special days.
Yeah, very privileged.
Yeah, well, I hope it goes well for you today.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Thank you very much. Shall we get some French perspective then? Sonia has the team news, and she also has Marie Saint-Père, former French international and now journalist, to give us some insight into their team.
Well, due to the inclement weather in Bordeaux, Marie and I have taken shelter just inside the mouth of the tunnel. Marie, I've been reading articles all week about how does this French team beat this very dominant England side, but you do have plenty of threats, although you've lost one in Joanna Grise. How big a blow is that?
Yeah, it's a little bit of disappointment because she's got a lot of experience. On 15, she made the last World Cup, and obviously she made a terrific game against Wales. But you know, we've got Ansesi Shofani who is going to play, so we are really happy about that.
And she's a bit of a 7-star as well. So what is she going to bring to this French team today? Because she wasn't actually a bit of a surprise that she was playing at all on the bench.
Yeah, I think, you know, she's got that experience of big events. You know, she played a final on the Olympics, so she's got the mental strength. And then her qualities, you know, she's a quick player. She won, you know, the contact. She can bring a lot of danger in the back line, I think.
Now, this weather, it's perfect if you are playing up front today, sort of stick it up your jumper type of weather. But I know you've been pretty impressed with these French forwards throughout the Women's Six Nations. So what in particular has stood out for you?
I think they are fitter than ever. You know, they are quick, they are strong, they are powerful, they have the ability to repeat a lot of tasks, to go on support with the back line. They can go through the defense, you know, with a lot of offloading. So they bring a lot of momentum and power, and they make the French team go forward.
Excellent. Well, let's hope that the weather dries up a little bit. Marie, thank you.
You're welcome. Good game.
Well, it's doing just that, and with perfect timing. Confirmation then of that side, and just 2 changes to that back row that faced Wales last weekend. Escudero moves from lock to blindside, and Erme is in from the bench. And it's a very strong, younger than England's, but experienced at the same time, back row, Maggie.
Yeah, I mean, their back row, that's where most of their strength actually lies. I mean, they tend to not to have a lot of continuity, though, over this tournament. So this back row have not had the same back row for the last 3 games. But what's good about this back row is they're quick, they're dynamic, they've got a lot of power, and when you bring Escudero and Herme, they're both got experience and that line-out option. So Herme in particular, she's very good at stealing balls at the line-out. So these 3 are very dangerous players, and England will have to close them down early.
Yeah, definitely. Like Menage has been amazing this whole tournament. She's beaten the most defenders for France, and she's gained the most meters. So I'm really excited to see her today. She's one to keep an eye on.
Let's move, though, around the pitch, because Katie, in Pauline Bourdon-Sansus, they have a player who really can control the game. As she showed against Wales, didn't she? She was an all-court player.
She really is, and she's the heartbeat of this French side. You know, she's been in 19 of the last 20 French games, their squads, and you just see here how quick of thought. You know, penalties, most teams slow it down. She's got a head up, she's got hands on ball. She sends Wales back into their 22. And just always on shoulder. She's a good 9. This for the try here. She knows exactly where she is. France want to play quickly. They want to play tempo. She gets the ball in. And this is a great try from Touché, isn't it? She just runs 22 metres from a front row. It's Sarah Byrne-esque almost.
I think what's key, though, against her is that you cannot switch off. So England need to make sure they play their 80 minutes, because she does like to play quick tempo, and she will catch England out. And she does set up tries and score tries as well.
I'm not sure if they've got a choreographer here, but suddenly this whole stand stood up and started waving their flags. I was kind of looking around to see who was telling them to do that. I think the atmosphere is going to be so special today. There were kids swarming around the place when we arrived a few hours ago. They've been here building up for a lot longer than you'd expect in the horrible damp weather that we've had here today. And that kind of permeates from the pitch as well, because there's this tradition that's evolving in the French team that they have quite a jazzy warm-up. Maggie, I'm not sure if back in the day this was something that you would have gone for, but they kind of choreograph their moves, don't they, and take a beatbox out onto the pitch.
Yeah, so there was a video clip of them doing their warm-up that went viral, and to be honest, in my day we didn't do that much of a warm-up, and it wasn't that energetic, and to be honest, I probably would have been knackered by the time we got to kick-off, and I've got dodgy knees as well, so but it did go viral.
It's a shame,
very
because they weren't doing it not so long ago, and I was hoping you were going to join in. Shall we turn our attention to England then, and in particular a very special player. Sadia Kabea was player of the season last year, player of the match in this fixture last time round. 17 caps she's amassed in the last few years, just 22 years old, but really showing herself to be a great leader in this squad, and also understanding her role that she has as a leader of young people, showing them there's more than one way to grow a rose.
When I look back from my journey and stuff, it was nowhere near like a smooth path, but I think I always just had the mindset of if I get there and I put the work in, I'll get there.
Look at the strength from Sadia Kabea. That was pure power.
Hi Sadia. So my question to you is, how important is it to have role models like you to show people that you can get into rugby via different pathways and that you can achieve success regardless of your background?
Yeah, I think it's so important to have, role models from different ethnic backgrounds, different cultural upbringings. Even when I first started playing, my whole team, bar like 2 people, were people of colour. So, the fact that it is a white-dominated sport as well, I think I started seeing myself sink into my shell a bit, because, how I was speaking, being a girl from South London, I had a bit of slang, I had a bit about me, and when I went into club, like, that all changed. Stopped wearing my natural hair because I felt like, 1, it didn't fit into the game, and 2, it wasn't suitable as well. And that's been a big journey now, obviously wearing my natural hair now. I've come in leaps and bounds, but I also came up with the idea of having a satin scrum cap, which, kind of protects the hair. And when something so simple that can also be so inclusive for young black girls coming into the game, remove a barrier that shouldn't even be there in the first place. And yeah, it's been a journey for me, but I'm trying to help others not have to go into that journey too.
Sadia Kabea actually being named the England captain is quite a significant moment in this fixture as well. Only 22 years old. There's a lot older heads out there, and she's the one who's been trusted with this.
It's me right here.
You've massively grown on and off the pitch, but how have you found growing into your new leadership role?
I really enjoyed it. I think it's been something I haven't expected, to come back in and have that role, asked to be in the leadership team. Obviously, it's quite flattering as well, but also quite daunting being in a team of, loads and loads of leaders anyway. But I think it's only helping me grow my game, so I've been enjoying it.
Hi Sadia. If you could go back, what would you tell your 12-year-old self?
She's so formal. I think I'd probably tell her maybe to back herself more. The last time I was in France away for the Grand Slam decider, I was actually on the bench and didn't get on. So for now, that's to be flipped 2 years later where I'm starting in this game. It's really exciting, but I think I would definitely just say, back yourself more.
Wow, just 22 years old, Sarah, and the way she speaks with such maturity, that experience she's had over the last season or so, you can see why she's real leadership material.
And Sadia's just a brilliant person. I think that's a big thing that gets underplayed. We co-host a podcast together. She has her own song, which I'm not going to sing for any of you, but I'm sure if you ask her, she'll be so embarrassed. She's such a lovely, lovely character, and she's incredibly hardworking. She puts in the shifts behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. And she's just really grown into that leadership role. Mitch is really big on growing our leadership group. He does a lot of work with us. And one day he gave the opportunity, like, Sadia, you're the only person allowed to speak today. And that, for her, is something that she really thrives. She was like, took it with the bull by both horns and really took it.
Well, a team that is going to win a World Cup needs leaders all over the pitch, not just in Marley Packer's responsibility, but she does play alongside the leader, of course, in a back row that has great experience, but great competition coming through as well.
Yeah, I think, again, it's something that John Mitchell's created, that healthy competition within the squad, that no one's place is safe and complacency isn't something they accept. And that's great, though, isn't it, when you've got key players like this? But, you know, we've also got the likes of Sarah Beckett, who's actually now available for this game, but hasn't been selected. You've got Zoe Olkoff, who could quite easily fit into that squad, as well as Fianati's on the bench. So it does say a lot about this back row, that there's this competition, that they're all fighting for a jersey, which will only make that back row unit stronger going into World Cup in 2025.
And yet, it's not even from the back row that the dominant player in terms of players of the match comes from. It is, of course, from the back three. And Ellie Kildunn, who has had an exceptional tournament, a great player, seems to have just elevated herself. And of course, she's good at taking photos as well. Why wouldn't she? We gave her a stills camera last week. We said, have a little go, see what you get around the ground. And it turns out she's pretty good at that as well.
Yeah, I think what's great about Ellie Kildunn, we've seen her on field, we know how great she is. It's this off-pitch stuff. It's the fact that fans are really getting to see the personality of the girls. And for me, that's so important, for the young fans to have aspiration, to really look and want to be like Ellie Kildunn. It's great to see. And you just see her here, you know, as a fullback, always in the backfield, but it's how quickly she transitions. She gets ball in hand, heads up, and she's gone. And we know how quick and how physical she is. And for me, she was England's standout player. Here again, probably disappointed she doesn't catch the ball on the full. It's a good kick. But again, Ellie Kildunn in broken field, head up, made a decision, beats two defenders. And once she's in this open space, she just is so, looks so easy, doesn't it? She glides through defenders. And you know, Jess Breach and Abby Dow haven't gone that badly, but this lady is really a bright star, isn't she, for England at the moment?
Yeah, she evaded players. I mean, she's evaded, I think, in total, 27 players so far during this tournament. So it does say a lot about how you defend her. Ireland now, unfortunately, didn't do the very good kick chase. So you expect France would have done their research and they will fly up in her. Do not want to give her an inch because she's quick, she's strong, and she's got confidence now. And I feel like, again, John Mitchell's encouraging that. Play with freedom.
The back three in general, though, 18 tries. You say haven't done so bad. I mean, you know, Dow got a hat-trick last week as well. Breach has obviously had a great tournament. And they just seem to be expressing themselves brilliantly, don't they? And they're playing with a freedom, perhaps, under John Mitchell we haven't quite seen.
Yeah, and I think look how the ball's getting there. If you look at Tatiana Hurd, I think she did amazing work last week. She did a little lift to Zoe Orcroft. Zoe Orcroft again, 2 50-metre line breaks. You don't see that from second rows all the time. Meg Jones, line breaks after line breaks. And then you see our back three. England just have threats all over the park. If I was France, I'd be targeting England's 10 and 12 channel because that's where the ball's coming from. But yeah, I think they're going to blitz it today and we might see a little bit more of a challenge for our back three today.
I think ultimately you can't let England play. We've seen last weekend that when England find their metal and they're on song and everybody's connected, they are so dominant. It's key here. Like we say, we want that battle, we want the little crunch, but France have got to stop England. They've got to pressure their skills, they've got to get in their faces, and they can't give them speed of ball.
The question is, who do you defend? You know, if you try and put pressure on Kildunn, then you've got Abby Dow, and then you've got Jess Breach, and then you've got Megan Jones who goes through the middle. I think it's a challenge now, but that's great because England's attack has got variety, so it means it's really hard to defend, and I think the French will struggle a little bit in the first 20 minutes in particular.
You know what he's like, John Mitchell, but to hear him there just saying, when I was kind of trying to almost hype up the atmosphere and how they were going to cope with that, it was really interesting. He said, we're just very calm and we just go out there and play our game. And, you know, there's a sense that actually this week it wasn't about increasing intensity, it was just keeping very measured.
Yeah, they're really big on playing the event, not the occasion, play the game. I did see Nathan Catt, though, dressed up as a cockerel, walking around while they had some loud crowd music on. So they are prepared, but yeah, England want to be calm and they want to play as well as they can today.
To just say, Sarah, that the shots we're seeing here are the walks from both teams to the pitch from the dressing room. I think it's probably the longest in world sport. It's about 3 minutes it takes them, and it's been timed, I mean, which actually, the ramifications of which means there's very little time at half-time in the dressing room. A lot of the conversations will start in the tunnel.
It's huge as well. World Cup final in 2014 were underground, upstairs. So these things will have been talked about. Don't underestimate that girls haven't practiced this, that they know what they're having their small leadership conversations. This will be all of nailed off in the week.
Confident, Maggie?
I am very confident, but at the same time, this French team, they are ready for a fight, and they're going to be up for this, and they've got 28,000 people here.
OK, I think we should go to our commentary team for this one. It promises to be a fantastic afternoon, and Sarah Orchard is leading them.
Thanks, Gabby. It's Grand Slam time, the 15th and final game of the 2024 Women's Six Nations, and it comes down to this. France against England in Bordeaux. You can see there on your screen the France captain, Menaye Fellaio. She will be leading out her side, hoping to change a script of 6 years of heartbreaking defeats for France to the Red Roses. There are some French players in that squad that played back in 2018. That experience, that memory, it's really starting to fade, but you can tell by those eyes, it's all business. Right then, France still need to join England in the tunnel before they can come outside. The crowd are ready and waiting. 28,000 expectant French fans. They have been queuing up outside the stadium for around 2 hours waiting for this. They've waited in all weathers as well. They'll be pretty soggy, but hopefully it will all be worth it for whatever is about to unfold here. You can see just at the front there, it was Agathe Sochat, the hooker. She's going to run out with her little girl, Nina, that she's holding on to. But once they're given the okay, they will come out and the crowd will know we are nearly ready to go. The trophy between them, sparkling away. It was a new trophy last year, so only the second time that someone will lift it. Marley Packer with the honours back at Twickenham in 2023. And it's been a familiar English story. Countdown underway. Here they come. Well, the fireworks are going off. Marley Packer and her Red Roses side, they have cast aside all so far in this tournament. Can they really repeat the trick for a 5th time? Surely it can't be so straightforward today, Brian Moore.
Well, maybe not. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to very important battles in the front row, very important battles in the back row. And let's face it, it's the French, so I must look forward to a battle.
Both sides lining up in front of us on either side here. Looking up at all of the officials. And Allez les Bleus starts ringing out around the ground. Rugby, of course, before we get underway, will make it stand against hate in any form. There is, of course, no place for it in sport, or, of course, nowhere for that matter. An important message that, of course, rugby will not forget. But first of all, it will be time for the anthems, of course, starting with God Save the King.
Je vous remercie maintenant de vous lever et de respecter les hymnes nationaux. On commence par l'hymne national de l'Angleterre. Dear fans, please rise for the national anthems. We are starting with the national anthems of England.
Hold on to your hats because it's now time for La Marseillaise.
Et maintenant, place à la Marseillaise. And now, la Marseillaise.
In the crowd, everyone has turned up to watch this French side play. Let's take a look at the lineups. Plenty of tinkering with this French squad ahead of the match. The joint head coaches Gaël Mignon and David Ortiz, 4 changes, 3 positional. Bordeaux's Medusa Fall returns to start in that second row, and former captain Gaël Hermé, she returns into the back row. Into the backs, her vice-captain and twin sister of number 8, Romain Marie Manager, is restored to the rest wing. Nasira Condé, one of the 6 Bordeaux players in the French starting 15, wears 13. Now, a late change sees Anne-Cécile Siofani. She's going to be starting with Joanna Gruzet ruled out. That does make an interesting bench when we get to it. As for England, only 1 change for head coach John Mitchell. It's in the forwards with a timely return from suspension for Leicester Tigers hooker Amy Cockayne, with Lark Atkin-Davis ruled out with an ankle injury. Sales Moana Talink, she holds on to her spot in the second row after an unexpected start at Twickenham last week when Rosie Gallagher pulled out of the warm-up. And the backs are unchanged again. This is a 4th test in a row for Hunt, Aitchison, Breach, Hurd, Jones, Dow, and of course, the 9-try wonder kid, Eddie Kildun at fullback. Now, this is where it gets interesting on the benches, because France have opted for a 6-2 split after that late change. They were meant to be 5-3. So Blagnac's Axel Berthemieux, she comes in and she'll be wearing 22, but she is definitely a back row player. Do not be confused. Look at that brooding sky in the distance here in Bordeaux. We've had all weathers here today, and anything could still happen. Sunshine for the time being. There is the woman of the moment, Ellie Kildun. You can see there just getting ready. Lena Kiwa just bouncing the ball away on the spot. Your referee there just to the right-hand side of the screen today. That's Maggie Cogaor of New Zealand. And Brian Moore alongside here in commentary. The crowd, they've certainly turned up for this occasion.
They certainly have, and let's hope we get a match worthy of the occasion. Always a bit difficult to predict how this sort of febrile and emotional atmosphere will play out for a team. It can inspire, but can also lead to people overreaching themselves. So let's hope that French get on the mettle and they give England a test today.
Right then, we're about to get underway. One more game, the finale of the 2024 Guinness Women's Six Nations. France against England. There's only 1 trophy, and they are not going to share it. Well, the ball's gone long there from England out towards the far side of the field, but a timely bounce inside, and it's going to be a French line out on the far side. So, as I said, both of these sides have calmly made their way through this Six Nations campaign. Of course, France, they did have a little bit of a stutter against Scotland, but eventually managed to pull it back eventually. Our referee just making sure that everyone is in exactly the right place. Socha manages to get a woman towards the front. Here come the French with the first attack. Vernier. Audon Sansus looks up. The physicality in this game is going to be fascinating. You can see an early knock on there after we saw Cabea go over the top. Vernier playing scrum half. Ménager can play anywhere in that back row, wearing 8 today. Twin sister Ménagers, there's one on the wing and there's one at number 8. They'll come back for the knock-on. And it's an exciting moment in this fixture, Brian, because the packs, England just haven't properly been tested in this arena yet.
No, they haven't, and the French do have a strong front row and back row. And if anything, their scrum has been perfect, I think, thus far in this Six Nations Championship. So if they are looking for an area to try and get on top, this is where they have to start.
Pauline Baudon-Sansus getting ready to get that ball in. Look at that front row. Just saw that, Anel Bay getting ready. The crowd want more from this scrum, but what a scrum by the Red Roses, and an early penalty, a big moment. Maud Muir celebrates. That's an early tick in the box there for the Red Roses.
It is the worst possible start for the French 8. Won't be happy at all.
You know, when you come to France and you want to play, those moments are crucial. When we talk about making sure you get a platform, big scrum dominance, good early kick from Mo Hunt. It's a really good, solid opening couple of minutes from England.
We could see Calfari, the French blue number 3, losing a binding, losing a footing and being completely ineffective, whereas on the other hand, Muir for England keeping her end up and driving strongly.
Big platform for the Red Roses. Cocaine back from suspensions, throwing the ball in. Aldcroft is the one sent up. And the drive now comes. There are pockets of England fans here inside the crowd, but largely being quietened by the French fans who all of a sudden want to come in and help their team. Hurd. Space out on the far side. You can see they're working off her wing as Dow. She's getting it to Breach. Breach is still going. Big tackle coming in the end there by Boulard. Hunt. The Red Roses hunting where they used a great take by Marley Packer under pressure. Hunt, Muir waits, powers forward. France know the game is on here. Matthews comes in, offers herself. Popped off ball, Aldcroft is there. What a tackle there by Escudero.
Use it!
Sometimes for England the tries have come too easily. That won't be the story today. Popped off ball once again. Forward packs offering. That one under the arm there of Cocaine. They pushed round again. Cabert is bellowing for it at the moment. They're not tempted to give it to the backs at all. There's numbers there. England not moving it quickly. Aldcroft.
Let it come, Blue!
Hunt looks up again, just making sure that it's safe to go. It's the forwards who go back round the corner, still not to be inches short. Cabella tries to power over, really well read there by the French defensive line to push her back.
Hands up.
Bottomman popped off. Try for England. They were so patient. They took their time, but it's Maud Muir, the Gloucester Hartbury woman, who goes over for England's first.
Yeah, if you want to know how to play with patience and make a defence work, England just show that, you know, solid line out, really good decision making there, and then they just go to where they're strong. That game, Ellie Kill done a bit of a decoy there, and Abby Dow backs her pace, gives Jess Breach an opportunity, but it's good D in here. I mean, Brian, this is your specialty, but forwards going to work.
Well, what we didn't show there was the point at which Cabert steadied everything. The ball was coming back. England actually got rocked back in a dominant tackle by the French, and on the back foot, and they could have panicked and moved the ball wide. She held it at the back, made sure everyone got round so they could relaunch the attack. And for a young player who had given the captaincy temporarily last week, that shows why, because that's on the field thinking.
Maud Muir's second try of this Six Nations. And they're just waiting for one of the medics to get off the field so they can get back underway. Lena Kewa sends it deep and sends it to Ellie Kildunn. And you have to say, England there have dealt very well with these restarts.
We'll use the line? Yeah. England, you're on the line. Okay, you're on the line. On the line!
I also think early on, in a fixture like this, when you've got a crowd like this, taking the physical battle to the French is something that players will want to do themselves, because it quietens the crowd, gets them into the game, gives them a physical edge to the game, and the psychology just shifts then.
Sorchat, as France look to get back down at the other end of the field. Manet Fellayer just driving her team, encouraging them to come with her. Only 24 years old, the France captain, but already in a very important voice. Bourdon Sansus, told to get on with it. Popped off ball, really nice there. Bourdon Sansus again as Kewa decides to switch direction, uses that right boot. Could that be a 50-22? Not to be. Breach gathers. Sends it back down the line. And from where France had that last line out, they have gained 10 metres.
Really smart kick by Kewa there. Looks like she was going to go to the left-hand side, gets ahead of early, identifies Jess Breach in that backfield, and just finds a bit of space. And this game is going to be about territory. It's going to be about momentum. And at the moment, England are doing a very, very good job of that. But that's what France have got to do. They've got to kick the corners. They've got to push England back into their 22.
Bordeaux, Socha. Later, club rugby here. Nice take in the air. France want to get a little bit more change out of these line-out drives. England holding it well so far. Popped off, and that's a sneaky move there by Bordeaux Sansu. She hacks on the ball, there's a foot chase on the near side. It'll go out of play eventually, but a nice break there by the scrum half, Bordeaux Sansu.
Look, she's one of France's stalwarts, isn't she? Such smart play, just throws the dummy. It's really, really easy, and again, finds a lot of space. That kick stays in field. That is a certain try for France, but look at the acceleration. We knew she was going to be difficult to manage today, and she's shown all the bags of tricks.
The thing is, Katie, she had a lot of room there, couldn't she? Overcooking that when there was a good 20-yard open space.
Cocaine with a really difficult line-out throw, executes well. Ball comes back for Aitchison. Tight angle on the near side touch, but finds it. And France, for all that huff and that puff and that effort, find themselves back pretty much where they started, but on the other side of the field. There's the late change there on your screen, and Cecile Siofani. She's the one who's ended up starting after Joanna Grise had to pull out at late notice with that calf niggle. Not to be taken cleanly by France. Cocaine says thank you. Trucks on. Box kick then by Hunt down the field. There's nowhere there from France. Having to cross across the field, you can see his Ménager. Also Boulard. France from attacking at the other end now, trying to find a way out of their own 22. Fellaeux, the captain.
Use it!
Kewa.
Wait.
France have kicked a lot in this championship through Lina Kewa. She's only 22 years old. A lot of pressure there, but that was just that little tuck down. And eventually, Mo Hunt who sent it down.
It's a great little kick by Mo Hunt. What a bit of skill, though, from Boulard there. The pace she's coming across, the pickup, it just gets France out of a lot of trouble there.
Well, the sun is sparkling right now here in Bordeaux. Another huge throw from Amy Cocaine. I mean, that is how she has made her reputation, from throws like that. On point, accurate, and has put the Red Roses in a strong position outside of that French 22. Early penalty.
Well, the French crowd don't like that, but they've got to put up with it because it was a penalty.
Got to make sure that they release the tackle player.
What is important for England there, in successive breakdowns, they actually made meters after the contact, and that's what really stresses defences. It's not just getting on the gain line, it's getting over the gain line. That's a worry for the French, because when England get rolling, then the space is up, and then they've got many more options.
Well, France need the crowd now. England want another try. Allcroft managed to get that one going. Matthews in there screaming as well.
Same ball. Get out now, get out now.
That's slowed down. England will need to start using this. Is it still going in the right direction?
Use it.
Hunt gets it out. Hurd is waiting. She powers forward.
Tackle, release.
Still England ball. Bottoman. Popped up once again. France holding the defensive line for now, but for how long? It's too easy for England. Over the line goes Alex Matthews. And France still yet to turn up to their own party.
It's a great try from Alex Matthews. I know, Brian, we're going to come back to talk about all the brilliant forward intricacies. But for me, Amy Cocaine, that nice little tip, and just how quickly England are getting into the shape is causing France so many problems.
Katie, you want to highlight the... Oh, I want to highlight the...
Just out of here.
This is the bit I'm impressed by. Tanya Hurd, she's outnumbered there, but she managed to stay on her feet long enough and then get her knee down, so it's a tackle so she isn't isolated. Didn't give the penalty away, because quite easily it was a 3-on-1 against her, and that could have been, you know, a penalty to France. But she, because of her physical nature and also the wherewithal to understand that she was isolated, managed to save that momentum.
Holly Aitchison not mucking around here in this Grand Slam decider in Bordeaux. She came into this game as a 50% kicker, but that is creeping up now. One of the criticism of this England team, Katie, has been their goal kicking.
Yeah, it has, and I think Holly's taken a fair bit of stick, hasn't she, as their primary goal kicker. You know, John Mitchell's commented about it in the press, but there's a lot of able goal kickers, I think, for Holly in a fly-half shirt. As she grows and matures, she does a lot of work with it. It will improve, but in games when it's close, having a reliable, high percentage goal kicker will be important for England.
Oh, real miscommunication there from England between Hurd and Packer. Here come the French. Bourdon-Sansus once again just building up that head of steam.
No advantage. Knock on. First one over here.
Okay, first knock on there by England. So France with the scrum in the midfield. Okay. This is only our second scrum, and France will be wary after what happened on the first occasion, but that was the Bourdon-Sansus bust.
The knock on there, it's the player behind, isn't it? The call should have been from an England point of view when the confusion reigned. I mean, France will be desperate because they've got a very good attacking platform tactically here. They've got a lot of room on the blind side if they want to use it going left.
Crouch! Bind!
What have the French got this time?
Need space here. I need you to just wait until I call bind to bind. Can I have my hand there? Yeah, but just don't touch her, okay? It's destabilizing it. Okay, we need patience here.
There we go, Maggie Coverall giving out the orders there, our referee. Both these front rows have been incredibly impressive so far in this campaign. It's a full Bordeaux front row of Day, Sosha and Kalfawi. All had their impact. But for England, Bottoman, Cocaine and Muir just as strong.
Set!
England are pushing, but this is better from the French. That's a big shove. Referee's arms stay down, they use it. Ménager. Huge tackle coming in by Meg Jones. Was Natasha Hunt offside? Referee is playing on. The crowd didn't like it. Bourdon-Sansus fans, Ménager again. England desperately trying to go over the top and get the ball, slow down the French attack as they push out towards the far side channels. Here comes Sosha, supported by Fellaeux, the big form of fall there as well. All 6'2" of her. And France find a way into that 22. Boulard there, almost cut in half on the way. They eventually managed to get it into the hands there of Escudero. She does well to keep her feet away from the touchline. This time it's Hermé, a former France captain. Bourdon-Sansus, what have France got here? Can they keep this moving? Huge tackle on Kalfawi. They can't get the last pass away. Knock on by France. Advantage England.
Got the knock-on advantage, right?
Spun back to Aitchison. She will clear on the near side. France will have their line out. But eventually it broke down. A lovely phase of play and just shows what France can do.
Well, France using a 1-3-3-1 system there, which means they've got 2 pods of 3 forwards. And had the French support player been just a fraction earlier for the offload, she would have been under the post. But because it was delayed, meant it couldn't go. But these are the things that France have to take, because if you'd seen the way that the kick across field didn't make its mark, you would have had a 7-7. England now 14-0, and France have to make these opportunities count because they won't keep getting them.
Second time, but yeah, not coming.
I totally agree, and I think that's what's going to be different about England and France at the moment. You look at conversion rate. I think England have got the best conversion rate. of any side of the Six Nations teams of around 53%. But the difference for me is that's the first time we've seen France play. They're getting into their shape, you know, the speed of ball. They've got some big carriers. That offload is literally milliseconds. That goes to hand, she's under the post. But it shows that England can be broken, but France are going to have to go through the phases. They're going to have to break England down. It's not going to be a first phase and you're going to get a score.
Hannah Botman okay after the treatment that she's got tight towards the front. It was Ermey who managed to hold on to that one. And that is just moving forward. Now it starts moving backwards. Really good distribution in the end to Vernier.
No, it's fine.
Bourdon Sansu, she wants quick ball. Kalfaoui now, using every inch of muscle fibre she has. Just trying to deceive there as the captain Fellio takes it on again. They're trying to hold her up. No quick ball still for the French. It's still slightly slow, and that's due to that English defence. Kalfaoui, she carries again. Bourdon Sansu thought she could see something there. Packer trying to get out the way. That was almost a penalty. You almost saw the referee's arm go up, then go back down.
It was a penalty, actually.
Still French ball. This is one of the best positions they've had. Vernier goes over. It is game on in Bordeaux. England have had a try scored against them on 17 minutes. And this is a feeling they will not be used to as they go and regather under the posts. The French were patient, and the Grand Slam is not a foregone conclusion.
It's everything we wanted to see in France and more. We know they are capable. We know they're ferocious, but it was all from gain line, all from their forwards. That lady there, Madissa Fall. And then I think you get Kalfaoui on the carry. But this line from Gabrielle Vernier, out to in, into space, between two players. It's everything you would coach. Don't run at bodies, run at space. And she's the best in the business at it.
Well, just as we were talking and asking for the French to make the most of their chances, then they've done that. Right back in this game, crowd back energised. Not sure what that conversation with the referee was about behind the post.
Well, Lina Kewa has taken more kicks in this tournament, successful kicks, than any other player. Only her 14th cap. And she's taken home 32 points from the boots. You can make that 34 points now with the boots as France are edging their way back into this here in Bordeaux. And you can see with the excitement from the fans, that's what they came to see.
They did, and this is what the game needs. We won competition, we won close games. France needed to turn up, and I've got to admit that opening 5-6 minutes we were worried. But that is the France we want to see. England now need to make sure they are the next to score, that they get momentum and a bit of territory.
That's a really short restart there by Aitchison, but eventually France hold on to it, but it's been knocked on in the process. Huge frustration. The crowd do not agree with the referee's decision there. They think that England knocked that on first.
Well, they might have a word about the fact that Holly Aitchison was 5 metres over the halfway line when she dropped that.
Well, they're looking at it again on a big screen. The crowd is still convinced.
Sorry, so you're saying the first knock-on is actually off a right hand? So it's going to be a blue spin.
Okay, it has been fed in. She didn't even look at the big screen, it was fed in there, so that means that we will restart with a French scrum. And if France needed a 16th player, they found one.
This crowd is amazing. It's everything you hoped when you come to France. You know, the hostility, the noise. They're clapping their own goal kicker. In England, you get silence. Here, you get them clapping you. It's great for the game and great as a player.
Well, this scrum is absolutely ferocious, and it's an advantage there to France. They do want the advantage because it's a penalty. Of course they want it. And now they'll get a chance to clear down the far side.
England just need a period of possession now to settle themselves down, because for the last 10 minutes it's been all France. And of course they'll have the throw-in from this kick if should it go to touch.
Well, Boulard sends it down. Not perhaps quite as much distance as she would like. And this was the scrum. Could just slightly pop up in the middle. It was controlled at the back there by the French to get it away. But again, a position England not used to. And Sean Edwards, the France defence coach, watching on. We've already seen Rafael Ibanez in the crowd as well, part of the men's coaching setup. And it's that kind of mistake that France just cannot let happen. They've just gifted England a scrum with a bow on the top in the middle of the field.
Well, it's the unforced nature of it, isn't it? It's, you know, everyone can make mistakes, and you do make mistakes, but you're hoping not to make them when you know no pressure on you at all, because this gives England a perfect platform here, left and right, equal space. So let's see what they decide to go. If you try to push the right-hand side of the scrum slightly forward here, take away their back row defenders and slingshot all your runners right. Kildun straight behind the scrum at the moment.
Well, that went down, so we'll listen. That was on the English tight head side, so it's between Muir and LL Day, and Maggie Kaguro is going to come around and have a look. That's what they needed, Brian. They just needed some new grass.
What to eat?
Same for
there you go, they're having a good time in here.
I understand, I'm just saying.
Sometimes Mexican waves happen because they don't like what they're seeing on the field. Sometimes they happen because people are just having a good time. I have to say, with the sun shining after the weather we've seen today, I think the crowd are absolutely loving being at Stade Chavon Damas today. Packed to the rafters, tricolores flying, and a grand slam on the line. Oh, that's a bit of a mess there at the back for England. That's really scrappy. Matthews somehow held on to that. Packer. Hunt. Towing. Straight back to Aitchison.
Inside her 50 to start.
Oh, that was getting close to 50-22, but really well marshalled in the end by the French backs as Boulard. Oh, it's a stolen ball by Meg Jones. She's read that brilliantly. That's going to be a try in the corner. Wonderful work by the England outside centre to completely nullify any threat. She poached, she took it, she scored.
Well, there's nothing wrong with ambition. However, it does have to be tempered by realism. And when you're only two players stuck in your 15-metre line, with no support there, then that's not the time to do this.
This kick, though, from Holly Aitchison is sublime. It's into space, it's force and pressure. Good chase. You've got three English players, and it's one of those, I think you've got to kick that back. When you're under pressure, like you say, Brian, when there's only two of you in your backfield, and you've got a lot of white shirts there, you kick that early. Bad offload inside, and Meg Jones just picked a pocket.
Well, it's something France have been known for doing in this Six Nations Championship, is taking those real opportunistic moments. Quick line out against Wales in their last game in round 4 led to them going over for a try. Aitchison from the near side touch, and that's good.
That's a great kick, and it's such a confidence builder. In moments like this, when the crowd are noisy and you want to silence them, 2 points, you just keep that scoreboard ticking over.
Well, look, I was just talking about England needing a period of consolidation. France make two mistakes. They drop the ball in midfield, give a scrum, and then decide to run a ball when it was unwise to do, gifted 7 points back to England.
Well, that's been knocked on by England.
First knock on off white, then off blue.
Second time in a row, England haven't caught their restart.
Been very good restarts by France, though, pushing them right on that 10 where you know French players are coming to compete. In that instance, Amy Cockayne is the one that's about to land on. I think Moana Talon's just come to try and take that, come forward like we were talking about.
Yeah, it's not a hooker's job, actually, to catch kickoffs, I'm sorry.
is a hooker's job.
Crouch!
To hook the ball back in a scrum.
Bind!
Two of the best scrums in the Six Nations. Won't surprise you when I say that.
Unstable, I know. There's no break foot there. And now we're having... I cannot, I promise you, I can't see a break foot, so it needs to be clearer then if you are moving it to adjust. So we're now having stability issues and you don't have a break foot. I need to be able to see it.
Amy Kincaid is confused by that, by our referee Maggie Cogger-Orr, claiming that she definitely had the break foot there, and it is there for stability. Both hookers should have one foot out in front, and it basically also, it's not just for hooking the ball back, it's for stability.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Well, this has been a game within a game, the scrum, and France come away with it. Vernier, oh, some nice looping run by Bourdon-Sansus, who's off and away on the far side. She pushes it out wide. Waiting is Ménager. Is she going to be hunted out? She's still good. Ménager will score! What an effort by the French, made by Bourdon-Sansus, finished in the end by Ménager, and they will not let England run away with this.
What a try. We have seen this from England over the tournament, but we haven't seen France come to life off their first phase. This is France at their best, and they're basically just good decisions made flat to the line. You see it here. Bourdon-Sansus gets hard, and Vernier, that little shoulder ball, she fixed 3 England players in this pass at pace. Ménager backs herself. It's everything you want to see from a winger. Take the touchline, don't go out. And then she does a really good job to help Kewa under the post. But before that, it's the running lines from France. Bourdon-Sansus was absolutely sublime.
Kitty, I mean, that missed pass, I thought it was actually a mistake because it left a one-on-one, whereas it would have left a two-on-one had it been a simple pop pass. And actually, although it was a good finish and she ran well, it was really poor English tackling. Very poor.
England will be disappointed with how easy France just broke them there. I think Meg Jones and turned in, Tatio, everybody bought on the same runner. But look, we've come here for a test match, and that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see teams testing each other out, all the hard work in the week's done about their analysis, and now it's the players bringing it to life.
Okay, well, once again, both kickers on point here in Bordeaux. And France keeping in touching distance, and it is going to be about who can go the distance in this fixture. Well, the French bench are looking on. England get ready to go again. This is a really deep restart by Holly Aitchison. Oh, and an early mistake there by Anne-Cécile Sofani. Only her second cap, made her debut against Wales. She's better known for her work on the Sevens circuit, and a huge frustration there for France to end up. And England gambled, they went deep, and it worked.
Those are the moments that the coach called coach killers, aren't there, where you've done something really well. All you need to do is get out and exit, put the pressure back on England, and all it does is give England another opportunity.
Another scrum then coming into this. England were on 90% at the scrum. France were on 100%. Fun and games so far. England are trying to chip away at that 100. They've already managed to get one back. Can they get a few more?
But the point comes with referees in scrums where you've got to stop explaining things to players and just let them get on with it and penalise them if they don't do it right, because they know what they should be doing.
Reminder that France haven't beaten England now since 2018. 6-year wait. Ball is hooked back there by England. Hunt, Aitchison, spun out to Jones. Oh, there's extra players running around that corner. Kildunn has to go in and cover. Slower ball for England, but still theirs. Back inside it goes. Not clean distribution. Muir has it, and Muir is going. Packer running on the diagonal. Talling, who has carried a lot of balls so far today. Now back to Cabea, lovely low body position. Hunt to Bottoman. England looking for a fourth try. Bonus points don't matter today. Bit of miscommunication there at the back. Arm over the top from France, so that's a penalty. You have to say Natasha Hunt rode that pretty well.
Yeah, smart scrum half play, isn't it? She knew exactly what she was doing. If anything, she just wanted that mark to be able to tap and go and take it quickly.
Well, calm heads here from England, opting to go for the corner. And that is the one thing you have to say about England. They're under pressure here for the first time in this tournament, but they appear pretty unflappable.
And if they do, as I expect, they will try to do, which is catch and drive this ball.
Oh my goodness, Amy Cockayne, that line-out throwing needs to be put up in an art gallery. And it's already over. The referee can't see the grounding.
Maria, you're okay. I just
It's
need to sign
Packer
this
who
off
was at
because
the
I'm
back
unsighted.
there.
Manners, I'm going to come to you. My on-field decision is try, because I have a grounding, but I've come around late. Can you just confirm there's been no knock-on?
Just to explain that, the referee's decision is an on-field try, so...
Just checking grounding.
Thank you.
So the TMO has to find decisive evidence as to why it's not one.
You can see there is
Oh, that
Marley
looks,
Packer
did that look
there.
short and drop rule? Well, she's allowed to reach out once. She's not allowed to commando a crawl forward. Let's see if she does that. She's down there, she can reach out once. Can't see from that angle. So you couldn't overturn it at the moment. She's down, does she reach out once? I think she's still short there to me.
I can tell you inside, Stade Charbon Belmas, they don't like it. So what does the TMO say? The TMO today, Andrew McMenemy, comes from Scotland, is the one who'll make this call.
Well, that angle is no good. She's short there, she's allowed to go once. I think she's still short.
Hey, Maggie.
Yep.
You may stick with your on-field decision.
Okay, perfect.
They're going to give the try.
Good. One movement.
This isn't going to go down well, I'll tell you. Oh, dear.
4 tries for England. It all came from a superb Amy Cockayne line-out throw. And it was the captain, Marley Packer, who went over for her 46th try in an England shirt.
Are you happy, Manners, with where I am? Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And going a long way back, just have to remind everyone of the fact that
shot clock, please. Infield. Okay.
That came from a simple drop from France in their 22.
And this is where England have been so dangerous throughout the tournament, that if teams make errors and they give them the ball back, they give them possession, England have been capitalising. And for me, that in this game, that is the massive difference here. France have made errors and England have taken points to them. When England have made errors, France haven't been able to do the same.
What did you think of it? Do you think it was short, or do you think she got there?
I think it looked short. It looked like her other arms come, but you can't see from the angle. And that's why the on-field decisions and the dialect between the TMO and the referee are so important now.
It's also why you always celebrate, isn't it, Katie Daly-McLean?
If in doubt.
If in doubt, celebrate as hard as you can, and the referee will say, maybe it was there. Right then. For France, this game is getting a little bit more tricky as the clock ticks on. Moena Talling with a really difficult take on her shoulder there, holds on to the ball. Sale's second row wasn't expecting to start last week at Twickenham. She was expecting to be on the bench, but her efforts have given her the nod to go again. Now it's a charge down, big charge down as well. Bulldogs and Seuss can't quite control. Someone needs to hold on to it. They go just on the line. I think they'll go and look at that. But that was all kinds of confusion in the backfield, and it was all made by the French.
Do you have a grounding by France? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Menners, we're going to come to you. So, essentially we're at try or no try because we don't have a grounding. We need to sign off that there's no in front of the kicker first by France off the charge down, so that the 9 is in an onside position, and then sign off what's happened in goal and what the restart's going to be.
Yeah, okay, so we're looking at whether a player is in front of the charge down, and then we're looking at grounding afterwards.
Yeah, perfect. Right.
Okay, so Bourdon sans souci from that charge down is in front of the ball.
So.
Yeah, Maggie, can you see that picture?
Yeah, so as Clara's pointed out, we've got 9 in front of the player who last played the ball at the charge down, so she's in an offside position. So it will be a penalty against 9 blue.
Correct, yes.
Okay,
I'll be absolutely certain Bourdon sans souci didn't get a finger to that.
Okay, so it's no try. 9 is ahead of the person who's charged down the ball, so she's offside, so she can't play the ball. You're offside.
It's a great question though, because if she touches that at all, then that doesn't stand.
She's actually saying that right now to the referee. She was pointing to the tips of her fingers. Maggie Cogger-Orr right now is not going to get a nice glass of Red bought for her in Bordeaux tonight.
Yeah. Good work, Clara. Yeah. Just here. Just here.
Well, I can tell you here inside the stadium, the French crowd are absolutely fuming right now. England with their line out, then go long once again. And that's got a nice little trundle.
Going backwards now.
Hunt's given the warning to use it, gets in. Abby Dow on the chase, Boulard takes. Socha. France will feel that everything's going against them right now. Taken on this time by Fall.
Advantage, knock on.
England have it from the knock-on. Hurd. Hunt tried to go. That one's been lost, so 2 knock-ons. They'll come back for the first.
Just here. Knock on.
Well, this time last year, it finished England 38, France 33. 5-point game in the end, but England was significantly up at half-time. It's not going to be quite that half-time score because England were around 30 points ahead, but that's still quite an impressive scoreline to go in with, isn't it, Brian Moore?
It is, and it's testing for the French, not just because they're 14 points down, but because they will have a feeling of injustice against them. They really will feel that the referees or officials' decisions haven't gone their way. So it's a big test for them psychologically.
Used quickly by England. Kildun, 9 tries in this Six Nations. Manages to get the ball off and away to Ealing Trailfinders Abby Dow. Hunt, Aitchison. Through the middle of the park, this time goes Muir. Hurd, Bottoman, they're just trying to play really quickly here. And Hurd straightens eventually. France are doing well at slowing England down, which is not something they'll be used to, and that's a great turnover as the red scrum cap of Charlotte Escudero gets the ball. Eventually it goes out of play on the far side of the field. And slowing down England's ball is what is key here for any French success.
It really is, but it's also just everybody taking a breath. The last, 5 minutes before half-time, it's got a bit frantic, both sides a bit loose with possession. It's really important in this bit of the game that you just close out. For France, if they can get another score perfect. For England, you just want to keep building your lead, but both teams just need to settle and go back to their game plan.
Well, certainly France mustn't concede another one.
Socha goes tight towards the front. Hunt, what a great take there by the scrum half. England have it back.
Stay here. The white player jumped into the tackle.
Gabea. Hunt. Aitchison, nice pop there to Packer. The heartbeat of this team, Marley Packer. still Alex Matthews, who works so hard to get those extra metres all the time. Aitchison now passes out wide, still going. England running out of grass, they know to stop. Hunt, options either side, Bottomon wants it, pops it off, not taken cleanly by Aldcroft.
Yeah, hop on. And we're gonna stop for this player.
Just slightly
Time
forcing
off.
something too much there.
It's a knock on and time off for the injury.
And Anel Day is a big, big player for France. That was the take there. You can just see Agatha Sochat got caught underneath that one.
Okay.
It was Anel Day sort of got clattered underneath what happened afterwards. And
So
just by taking on a little bit of water to regather.
She puts herself in that position.
Well,
So I don't see that as a contest for the ball. I see that as she's jumped late to catch it, and the girls just tried to make a legal tackle. I don't see it as foul play.
Just an explanation there, Molly Packer.
You jumped into the tackle.
Molly Packer complaining about an English player being taken in the air. And there was contact in there. The referee deciding that that was a result of an England player jumping and not a contest for the ball.
Okay, clear break foot.
So another example there, so of a player out wide making the decision for the defender, mispassing straight to the winger, which makes the job of a defender much easier because they don't have to choose whether to come in and cover an inside player or the outside player. They simply have to drift across or stay where they are. And that's when the ball needs to go short and be given and taken through the hands.
Set.
Well, England know where they are on the field. They're going to make France work hard to get out of here. It's Bourdon-Sansus who sends it towards the far side. We're closing in now on that half-time whistle, and England given a lovely platform here to try and go for try number 5. The majority of their tries in this Six Nations have come off line-out moves.
Stay here.
But that doesn't mean that we've been watching them going for those driving mauls all the time. The variety in England's attack has been incredibly noticeable in this campaign.
Get out.
Is that going to be a penalty for England? Yes, it is.
Yep.
Hunt, free hit then for England as they get the ball stuck there into the hands of Kewa, and he'll come back for the penalty.
I would expect more of the same in the last minute of the first half. If it doesn't go right for England, it means they're still down at that end of the field anyway.
I'll put the time back on when we get a ball.
And if you look at the difference between the English and French forwards' drives from lineouts, England have consistently made ground. The French have made a couple of metres, then been stopped and had to play the ball.
Okay, so the last thing we're going to see then in this first half.
Discipline.
An England attack on the French line, 5 metres out. Leicester's Amy Cocaine, who has been on fire throwing in those balls. She's now got it at the back.
Same ball. Yes, keep it
it's
up,
still
keep it
moving. Amy Cocaine still has it. That's surely going to be going over. Try number 5.
Try it. On the ground.
So well executed by the Red Roses, who will go in at half-time, flying up the scoreboard.
Okay.
And France, they've had a couple of answers, but just not enough. Well, there's a little bit of afters going on here between the forwards.
No, me neither. Okay, members, just let me know if there's a specific person. Time's over after the kick.
Well, the Red Roses are making their way back now.
Sorry, there's just a bit of a hubbub after. You have 1 minute.
The important thing that England, Stramash, I think Mr. McLaren used to call it, the important thing to watch there with England is they get the ball and their platform set before they start moving forward. That makes the French job much more difficult to disrupt. When you're set, when the ball is at the back, then you can manoeuvre it and you can counter players coming in at the side or dragging you out. If you start to go too soon and you get lost in the middle, then things fracture with England together. And another one.
Holly Aitchison, 5 from 5 here. The Red Roses, you have to give them credit. They're going to go in here at half-time absolutely flying. France were the team that was meant to give them the big game, but look at that, France 14, England 35, and 5 tries, Brian Moore. France just can't find a way to hold them back.
No, they can't, but what you do have to say is that England have been accurate when they've needed to be, and they've been very precise when they've been given opportunities by the French. So the French have played well in parts, but have also been the authors of their own misfortune on far too many occasions. But you have to give credit for England to be able to each time put them away.
Right then, both teams make their way down the tunnel, and take a look at this then. Tries for England 5, they've had more possession, haven't had to make as many tackles, haven't missed as many as well, because 8 missed tackles from France could well be costing them. But even that, France, they've made more meters than England. Other than that, it's pretty even between these two sides. Right, let's get some analysis from the studio team. Let's head back down to Gabby.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Yeah, it certainly hasn't disappointed, has it, that first half? Tries, incident, a little bit of argy-bargy at the end as well. Plenty of booing, the crowd feeling that perhaps the referee is a little bit against them today. And exactly what we wanted from an English perspective, you know, being challenged, although the scoreline now is opening up a bit, Maggie.
Yeah, Gabby, it isn't just what we wanted from an England match, it's what we wanted from the tournament. Finally, jeopardy. It's been really entertaining to watch for the first 40 minutes. As you've said, we've seen it all. But I feel what we've seen at the moment has been errors on both sides, and no team has really grabbed grip of this game. Yes, I know England have scored their tries, but at the same time there's still been errors, and you almost feel that second half anything could still happen, because this game hasn't completely run away with England.
We saw last year, didn't we, at Twickenham, England had a fantastic lead going into the break, and France came back in the second. They will feel perhaps that the best strength they've got in that dressing room right now is to get into the players' heads, that, you know, the referee has been a little bit, you know, giving the decisions perhaps the other way, and really kind of ride them up and give them a little bit of fight to come back out, because I think in the early 10 minutes we were a bit disappointed with the way France attacked the game.
Yeah, England were really dominant there, but I've been really impressed with France, how they've dominated that scrum. Now, England leading into this got 7 penalties from that scrum. They've taken that away from them, which means in that middle bit of that first half, it was really difficult for England to get the ball, and France started to get on top. So I'm really interested to see how this goes in the second half.
I think what's also interesting is France can score tries, and good tries, and if you're their attack coach, you're saying get in their half, run our first phase, because look what you've just done to England. No other side has got close to doing that to England in this tournament.
You know, when England win the first scrum, who do you want to be sat next to? Sarah Byrne. So tell us just exactly what was going on here and how important this is for Maud Muir.
It's a brilliant scrum here. So you see they get a really good engage. There's a little sink there, and Maud just dips under and uses that right shoulder there to get the loose head out on that angle. That allows Hannah and Amy Cockayne to push through.
And I guess what's been good about England is they're playing with this width. So you're seeing obviously Dow come into the back line. You're seeing them trying to stretch France, and then they do this power game, this close game. And Maud Muir, as you've already said, Sarah, she was brilliant in the scrum, but there the pick and goes and the patience, because obviously the French defence is very good, wasn't it, Katie?
Yeah, the patience is key, and that's what it does. It squeezes France, it puts France under pressure. Referees asking them to lift their hands up, and as soon as you give that space, the Maud Muirs, the Moena Talents are going to be, they work at such a low rate. It's really impressive to see.
What was clear from the first exchanges there was just the intensity of the French in defence. You know, they were not going to be like England have faced another team so far in this tournament. It's a much tougher proposition. But England's attacking line-out, their set plays have been really impressive, and that's where the second try came from.
Yeah, I think you have to give credit to England's line-outs. They've always been fairly strong, but they've been trying to go to the back, so they're trying to get almost the weak French defence. And here they throw everyone in. It's the control from Zoe Olcott. You can hear her shouting. And then they go for the width again. It's that quick play. You know, Mo Hunt has been trying to keep that ball alive and then finding the space. I mean, look, they're spotting the gaps in the French defence, and Matthews has been really good trying to hit the outside shoulders.
For me, Amy Cockayne, it's your front row acting as that first receiver, running straight, keeping your shoulders straight. 2 French defenders come and hit her, and that's what creates the space outside her. And it's just England's basics. I think for me, that is a big difference today. Their basics, their skills are very good.
Yeah, and France did have opportunities, and we highlighted her pre-match, but Sansus was instrumental, wasn't she, in those as well, in terms of getting them into that red zone and getting them into good positions. Just errors and perhaps just kicks not quite being where they should, but they didn't take anything from those opportunities.
She's been incredibly exciting. She's pivotal for France. You see the dummies. She makes that that line break, but also the carries there from the forwards to get her onto the front foot, then those spaces open up for her. If she gets those little 1% right and the balls start going to hand, it's going to be a hard day for England to stop that.
Yeah, and then they eventually did get their try through Vernier, seeing and spotting a beautiful line, Katie.
She's been very good for them today, but again, like Sarah said, it's from the hard work from forwards, it's gain line. This is not a great angle, but from behind, that out to in, she starts outside shoulder, and you can see it here. She's patient, she's looking, she's outside. She knows exactly the space she's going to hit. It's a big space. England have turned in. They haven't folded enough, and she just picks on them 2 England players, and like all good centres, running straight into space, not bothered about the bodies. And when you're as quick and as physical as her, England didn't get close to her.
I think when it comes to England's defence, they've got to really work on trying to keep them on the inside. So yes, you attack the breakdown, but make sure you've got your numbers inside so you can push out, almost give the French a space out wide, and then you fly wide.
I love how France have been defending. They've really done their homework. Holly's trying to get England out of trouble in those situations. They're just getting those ball back straight away. And I'm really impressed by that. That's something that France probably in the past haven't been very good at, and they've let England play. But this time, they're taking no prisoners.
An interception led to the third. Meg Jones, who's had a fantastic tournament. She'll be surprised to see her on the end of another try.
She was, but again, it was France causing themselves problems. Great kick by Holly. She works extremely hard, and for me, just send it back. Give yourself a chance to breathe, but they don't. Very French, they try and play. In this instance, overplay, and Meg Jones, we know, she wants to suffocate play. She's on top, she's in the right space. And it just was a bit soft by France. In a game like this, when you need to be on it, don't give England soft opportunity.
But Boulard, what is she doing in that circumstance? You would make sure you keep the ball. I know she probably thinks she's going to go out into touch, but actually keep the ball, take the hit, and then set up again. And Meg Jones has been absolutely brilliant this first half.
It was really important, I think, for the balance of this game that France did get the next score, and Ménager stood up, but it was a really good attacking scrum from them, wasn't it, and good back play.
Yeah, really impressive scrum. Deshay is an incredible scrummager. She's really difficult there. And just to get this move again from Bourdon, to get that ball out, that miss pass, and then this finish here, Jess probably wanted to make that tackle, didn't quite get it. The physicality from the French winger lets us get that try.
But it's really hard for Jess here, because you'll see 1, 2, 3, you get 3 England centres, or the midfield get turned in, and Jess is now on her own. She's got players working to her. Ellie Kildundish coming to the line, and she's backtracking. So yes, it is, and it's soft defence, and she'll be disappointed. But there was a lot of things there that went wrong in England's system before you get to Jess Breach.
I think Tatiana Hurd and Jones have to work on that defensive midfield area, because actually at the moment they're getting a little bit fooled by what the French are doing in terms of attack. But actually when they get that width, the French are absolutely dangerous. And Bullard, after obviously giving that intercept, I think she'll be pleased that she got that try.
We'll take a pause on the tries there. We've got a couple more to have a little look at, but Sonia is with head of women's performance, Charlie Hayter, who I imagine is pretty much a lover of the scoreline as it currently stands.
Yes, we're talking to the man who is the power behind the throne, if you like. Charlie, how pleased to actually just see the Red Roses in a contest?
Yeah, it's been a fantastic first half. I think there's been some great moments for both teams. I think it's been a game of little moments, little minutes, and the flow of momentum's really switched between the two sides as the game's gone on. So, yeah, a great occasion and a great first half.
In this championship so far, England had conceded 2 tries overall, and then 2 in this first 40. How happy with the way that they've managed that comeback from France, if you like?
Yeah, I think the response from the team's been really good. I think going back to process all week, we knew we were going to have to win this game 2-3 times as it went on. So staying in the moment, having the opportunity to get back in territory, been a really impressive response.
And a little word for Holly Aitchison, who has been under a little bit of pressure because she's been a little bit less than accurate, shall we say, from the kicking tee. 5 from 5 here today is really impressive and so encouraging for her.
Yeah, it's been brilliant to see. I mean, the kick out wide especially, and just their kicking out of hand as well. I think brilliant that we've been working so hard with Andy Holloway back at home and with Lou Meadows with their kicking plan, but to see it out here in a big occasion's been great for her.
Appreciate your time, Charlie. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
While that was going on, the crowd at this end here, it felt like they were practising their booing and now practising their cheering. And they were certainly booing at us. As we made our way around here, we were blocking the view of a few of them, and they told us in no uncertain terms what they thought of us, which wasn't great. I don't think even my French can understand that. There have been some fantastic tries in this tournament. It's hard distilling them down, but we have done. Here's 4 of the best.
Or sets off, eyes alight. Oh, Emma, oh, that is awesome. Finds Rona Lloyd. Lloyd against Joyce, the hurdle. Oh, the razzmatazz and the score!
Advantage.
That ball is well in, and it's penalty advantage to England. They've got a free hit. Coming on the loop there was H. That's a nice run, crossfield to Bridge. What a take by Bridge! What a finish! What a try by England, straight off the training park. Sometimes England are dominant, and sometimes you just have to say, that was good rugby.
Here's Dan O'Brien. Wall. Oh, good work. Quick thinking from her, finds Aoife Wafer, and another tackler beaten, and off goes David Parsons. Parsons going for the corner! Oh, that's brilliant rugby from Ireland.
The gap's almost opening up. Stevanen did well, then finds Dinka. Dinka trying to go either way, and then backing her pace. And Lisa Dinka to score Italy's second try.
There is some cracking rugby and some cracking tries over the last 5 or 6 weeks. But earlier today, the other 2 matches were completed. And for Wales, it was a happy ending to what has been a disappointing Six Nations finally getting their win. They will finish bottom with the wooden spoon, but no whitewash as they got their first win over Italy in 12 years, 22-20. Ireland beat Scotland 15 points to 12. The Scots were in the lead, but a late flurry from Ireland means they finish third, whatever happens to this one, of course, and it means that they will qualify automatically for the World Cup next year in England, which from last week's performance to that is a huge leap. And I think reflect first of all on Ireland, because to go from, you know, that dropping last week to that is a big achievement.
It's a massive achievement, and just look where they've come from. They were in WX3 in the autumns, now to go into WXV1. It just shows what you do when you have the right people in place and you have the support from your union.
It's great to see the commitment, because I mean Scotland have been in absolute form this Six Nations, and Ireland to go from what they have been from last weekend. I mean, the whole entire tournament has just really summed up how it means to some of these players. You know, yes, England have been quite dominant. Yes, France has been dominant, but seeing the likes
of
Scotland,
try.
I know. I don't know.
I don't know if you're doing that just to make them happy that they can see a try, because they won't be happy with that performance.
But it is
the result.
To think that Ireland have come back from where they have, because they didn't qualify for the last World Cup. So to see them now that they're going to be going to the next one is brilliant.
I think they were written off as well, weren't they? Ultimately, everybody kind of said it's Ireland at the bottom of the table, the wooden spoon. And I think, you know, for a team like that with such young talent, Aoife Wafer has been brilliant. She's only 21. I thought that 10, O'Brien has been phenomenal. They've got a really good foundation to build on. It'll be really interesting to see how they go.
Great scenes at the Principality where Wales players showed that they are certainly behind their head coach, Ian Cunningham, at the end of the match. And they were obviously under a lot of pressure through this tournament. Their performances, their results have been disappointing. It felt almost like they'd taken a step backwards, but that was a massive win for Wales.
It was absolutely huge. To do it at the Principality Stadium, to see Johan there, I mean, he has had so much to deal with all the scrutiny, the negativity about the way the Welsh have been playing, the losses that they've had, especially after WXV1 as well. And to see them do that, to see the emotions in his face that is covered by his hands, is really special, and again just highlights the importance of getting those wins and putting the time and the effort in and knowing that you can do it.
I think also looking at the stats from the other games, Wales shouldn't have lost by that much, so it's great to see them actually come away with the win this time round.
England have come back out on the pitch first. They're out, they're ready to go, they're raring to go. There's plenty more sport coming up on the BBC for you this weekend though, and in the WSL, Arsenal will be hoping they can catch up with the 2 ahead of them there. They're playing Everton on BBC 2 12:15 tomorrow, and the women's football show is on BBC 1 at 11:40 tomorrow night. Rugby Union Weekly podcast, you can hear that right now on BBC Sounds. Well, as France run out to cheers from their fans, they will be hoping for some big comeback play in the second half.
It's Grand Slam time, and it comes down to this. Bottomman popped up, try for England. It's too easy for England, and France still yet to turn up to their own party. Bernier goes over. Oh, it's a stolen ball by Meg Jones. She's read that brilliantly, and she's still going. Menachet will score. 4 tries for England. Try number 5. And France, they've had a couple of answers, but just not enough.
Well, Sarah Orchard, we're looking for a comeback of the magnitude that they managed last year at Twickenham. They need some points and they need them fast.
Thanks, Gabby. Back underway. It's going to have to be some team talk from the French. What have they got here? Bourdon Sansus. A real live wire for France. Romain Ménager. Real ever-present in the squad for some time now. Someone they've asked to go to the world many, many times.
Insider 50.
Bristol Bears Holly Aitchison sends it down this near side, and an early mistake there from England. No touch found, therefore it means he'll come back to where it was kicked. Didn't bounce in field.
So the French get a bit of territorial advantage. I think it's important for them to have the first 5 minutes of this game, of the second half, where they dominate possession, get themselves back into this game.
Well, France just about managed to hold on to that one. Marie Ménager working off her wing towards the middle of the field, and her twin sister goes forward, and it's lost forward as well. Cocaine, who hacks on the ball. She's played a bit of fly half in her time. She's not afraid of using her feet.
Inside.
Left boot sends it up the field, gathered by Kildun.
Insider 50.
Back three from France, so well positioned to deal with that. Emily Boulard now sends it down the field. As the ball goes out of play on the far side.
Just saying that France needed the possession to get themselves back into this game and immediately turn the ball over. And although England are still in their own half, they're with their own throw.
Cocaine, RAF officer, gets the ball in. Fired out then to Hurd. Huge tackle coming in by Vernier. Stops the Red Roses in their tracks. Aldcroft, former World Player of the Year, takes it in.
No, go back, go back.
Gloucester Hartbury captain.
Use it.
Natasha Hunt just taking her time. Led her club side to the PWR title last season. Not quite time to return to domestic business just yet. Confusion in the midfield.
Knock-on advantage only.
Aitchison spun out to breach. That's nice. Really good awareness of where Muir was waiting. She's isolated, needs someone to turn up. Hunt again, Packer. Popped off. Nice work off the shoulder for England. But it's a French penalty. They will clear, and Bourdon Sansus is off. Oh, she's going to be pulled back by the referee. And there's a player down injured is the reason. Such frustration there for France, who wanted to go quickly. Now, we should say, in the first half, England only gave away one penalty. That's only the second penalty they've given away, Brian Moore.
Well, it's very important for them because in previous games they've had red cards and yellow cards galore. So, yes, that's a huge improvement.
It's also really interesting that Sansus went to tap there. I think it's a marker of the intent France have come out to play in the second half. You know, in your 22, haven't had a lot of ball, and the first thing you do is tap and go quickly. So we know France need to change the scoreline, and I think when you look at this here, this is how she wants to do it. She wants hands-on ball. She wants to get going.
Well, we just saw what happened there. Sales Mawena Talling going into the contact. Mene Feleo, when she was going to try and help out, get the ball back for France. Ended up with Hannah Bottoman landing on top of her. Both players seem to be okay though, and France still have the penalty to play.
I didn't penalise her there. I'm happy she rolled away there. Just back here. Okay. I'll just get the water off, just in case. I'll just let it go.
Boulard started all the Six Nations game on this campaign.
On the end. Just here. This is the middle.
Sosha has been under a lot of pressure at this line. England don't go up and contest. They let Feleo drive this one on. Bourdon Sansus just trying to get every metre she can. Ménager, Vernier, hot potato, here we go again. Over the top, this time taken by Hermé. Scrum half is scanning. Full wants it. She drives forward. Sochaux there as well. Talling there was getting involved. Ménager.
We might have to look at that for head contact, we'll see.
Bourdon-Sansus was waiting for a big carrier. Ended up with Medusa foul. Kalfaoui just getting in a tangle there with Day. Ball's been knocked on. We restart there with an England scrum.
They will sweep it, I know, they will sweep it. Okay.
You just heard Marley Packer there, just checking that it is going to be checked for head contact. Referee said she doesn't need to think about it. Well, the referee has called for time off. And she is going to go and look at something. It has been called in.
5, yes.
That's correct, yes. We'll look at the actions of 3 blue in the clear-out.
Okay.
Well, this is Assia Kalfaoui, the tight head for France. She's actually already had a yellow card already in this campaign against Wales.
Just teeing up the angles. Just
like much of the French indiscipline, ill discipline, I should say, actually came in that game against Wales.
Not really bending into contact. Shoulder to at least neck.
Well, it was Morwenna Talling of Sale who was on the wrong end of that. And she did stay down for a bit.
Okay. Oh yeah, maybe this one, real speed.
It's definitely a penalty for me.
Okay.
And probably
so
a yellow
for me,
card.
We have foul play. We have head contact. It's a reckless action by the blue player. So at a minimum yellow card threshold and off-field review. Agree with that?
I would agree.
Okay. Can you just get me the mark? And it's number 3 blue?
Number 3 blue,
okay.
Yes, and I'll give you the mark once you're ready.
Okay. Captain! Manet, et toi?
So Manet Felleux, the captain, is being called in because her tight head prop, Assia Kalfaoui, is about to be sent off for 10 minutes.
And we've had contact with the head. So it's going to be a yellow card and we'll go to the bunker.
And when they say it's going to the bunker, that means it can still be upgraded to a red card.
Yep.
After what was a bright start there from France in the early stages of this second half.
Your penalty. Okay.
England will look to exploit the fact that they have the extra woman on the field.
You okay? Ready? Okay.
Aitchison sends it down. And all of a sudden here in the stadium, you do just feel like the oxygen has just been removed from the French crowd.
It's the quietest this stadium has been since we kicked off. But great kick from Holly Aitchison. It's a really good opportunity now for England's forwards to capitalise on France being a player down.
Oh, marvel at Amy Cocaine's line out, throwing as it comes away now to Hurd. Hunt popped off the ball to bottom and she couldn't take it cleanly. Knocks it on and France will celebrate that the pressure is slightly relieved.
Well, England had the luxury of having an extra player in the lineup, but to be honest, in all their lineouts so far, they've been able to pick and choose where they deliver the ball from, when they throw it, and where and how it's given back, and it's given them such a platform. You look at the differences between the driving modes from lineouts for England and France, and the England forwards are managing to go forward and deliver the ball when they want to. The French have been stuck, having only driven a couple of yards, then having to give the ball back, which is a slow ball, is not usable.
So send the prop on, guys, and just tell me who's coming off.
Okay, there's confusion here from the French bench in that their tight head prop is off, so they need to bring onto the field Clara Jouet.
4. Sub.
And interesting here, they're taking off the French captain, who is, of course, having to make way for the fact that they can only have 14 on the field. So Clara Jouet of Blagnac comes onto the field. And interesting to see if Manet Felleux returns at any point now.
Same thing, break foot, patience until the ball comes in.
Fascinating decision by Gaël Mignot and David Ortiz, joint head coaches for France. Gaël Mignot, she's a former
I'm going to go there, I promise.
French international.
Okay,
A hooker of some repute in her day. strings at the top of the French women's game.
Bind!
Well, the crowd has struck up in the corner of the ground here.
The break foot is there, I can see it. Keep your head in.
Just trying to fire up the crowd once again as this game is just taking a little while to get going in the second half.
If anyone heard that exhortation from England, we apologise for that. But if you are in the England pack, you should be wound up now and wanting to go for them.
Down on the near side, it's a penalty to France. Hinging is the call. And that's a second scrum penalty against England.
Well, Hannah Bottomman doesn't agree with that.
Does the prop ever agree?
Well, no, but I mean, look, the only people who definitely know who dropped the scrum are both props, and they both lie anyway, so you'll never find out. But why would you do that when you're on top?
Will justice ever be served in the front row? We'll never know, but that's another big penalty.
England lucky not to be given 10 there, hanging on to the ball. They knew what they were doing.
Well, having gone from just one penalty in that first half, England seem to be happily racking them up here in the second. But it is France who are reduced to 14, and they're the ones advancing down the field. Wonderful work there by Charlotte Escudero.
Straight down with your elbow. You keep your bind high, it will be clear for me that she goes down. I'm just giving you the pictures I'm seeing, okay? Take a step. I'm on the middle. I'm on the middle.
Oh, wouldn't you know there, a face that says so much.
Still, Eileen.
Socha, pressure on once again. What have France got here? Escudero is heavily involved, but Bourdon Sansus just took her eye off the ball at the wrong moment, and England get it back again.
It's been so good for France, but it's one of those things when your actions are ahead of your thoughts, aren't they? She's taken her eye off the ball, she's looked to what's going to happen next, and as that ball's come down, she's just knocked it on, and like you say, this first half is just, second half, sorry, has just been a bit stop-starty for both sides.
Natasha Hunt's ready to go again.
Crouch! Bind!
Well, there's no ball in there. There you go. Early push there from France. England get the free kick. And England have decided to scrum again.
One, closing the gap, pre-engaged.
Well, closing the gap, not going early, because England were definitely over the mark there, but...
Well, it was Clara Joua who came on for France there in that tight head position, made her debut back in 2019. It's her 45th cap, so she's a pretty experienced woman to bring onto the field. Knows exactly what she's doing.
Set. Use it.
Warning to get on, use the ball. It's a penalty now for England. The fun and games will be over.
Loose head, angle.
And the warning comes today.
Psychologically for France, the player down now, and they're getting beaten up front.
Time off.
You know, and
we've got the bunker
when you're
referral.
facing this, you start to go behind. It's a real test of character now.
A red card.
Okay.
It's a high degree of danger.
Can I get the captain?
Okay, a big moment here for France.
So the referral is back from the bunker. High degree of danger, no mitigation. It's been upgraded to a red card. Okay.
France will play out the rest of this match with 14 women on the field. What was already an impossible ask has just got more difficult. Asia Kalfawi is distraught. The Red Roses know they are the ones now with the extra women on the field. And Marley Packer said in the build-up to this match, she wanted to keep the foot to the throttle. They won't care. There's 14, they will exploit it.
Yeah, you see it again in your screens, you know, for her. She's been outstanding, Calafui, for France this tournament, so it's a real sad end for her, but obviously, you know, that's what the bunker's there for. It's there to review and to make good decisions.
Here come the Red Roses.
Get out now, get out.
They came to France for a trophy, and they're hunting it down now, down that far side wing.
Yeah.
Hunt, quick ball, spun out, through the middle is Cabella, can't get that last pop pass away. Stopped and knocked on.
Just before, not you, no. The play before.
The thing to consider when you are
no advantage there.
looking at that upgraded decision to a red card is this.
You'd broken up, it's a tackle for me, not a collapse.
Whilst there didn't seem to be much damage done, or maybe there wasn't the intent there, those, in relation to the risk, are not the factors you take into account. It's not outcome-based. You don't have to wait for someone to be seriously concussed, because that's where the law is, that's what it's designed to stop. So on the one hand, well, you think nothing happened that was particularly bad. I'm afraid for the French, that's not the consideration under the law.
Crouch!
Well, this French crowd in here, plenty of rugby still to come here, of course. They've got the end of their domestic seasons for men and women as they get the free kick away.
Inside.
Down the field. Did that just bounce inside? Yes, it did. Put on near side touch.
She's inside.
And they've gained important ground there, the French.
They have gained important ground, but they've also given the ball to England from a penalty. And this is the thing that I don't understand from a French perspective. Yes, you've probably gained 10, 12 more metres, but you've also coughed over possession.
Well, and England haven't struggled at all on their line out so far.
Cocaine. Ball finally disrupted. France are trying to get a hang of this English line-out. Vernier with the big pass. Condé was there. She manages to find Stefani, who can really run if she wants. Bourdon Sansus, loose ball on the floor. That's the last thing they need. Joa.
No, leave it. No, off the foot.
Remember, they've only got 14 women on the field. Vernier, Ménager, Escudero, who's been everywhere, goes in for the clean-out. Full. Kewa to Vernier. France need to go somewhere with this possession. Kewa takes it straight into heavy traffic. So slow, so slow. Little snipe round the corner, but it's an England penalty.
That's enough. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Oh, great work by Hannah Botterman.
People's face. Back up.
But France, a 2-on-1.
If your player's going to scream in people's faces,
that had to go, didn't it? It had to go.
Okay.
From here, look really clean, didn't it? Ellie Kildun stepped in as the last tackler. She gives the 2-on-1, and France are away down the touchline. Instead, she kept a hold of it, carried it, and France just lost shape in the middle. And that lady is sensational over the ball, Hannah Botterman.
Back on me. Maria will use the line for white.
We're going to see it here, Brian. It's good hands by France. It's moved really well. She does a really good job of committing Ellie Kildun, and then it's away.
Has to go.
Just has to give it.
Here you go, England again. Their first line out lost the last time they've thrown. No mistake this time. Matthews.
Off the leg, 5, off the leg.
Played a lot of sevens in her time, Alex Matthews. Now happy.
Keep your bind, keep your bind.
Right in the mix there with 8 on her back.
Use it.
Hunt, box
Inside
kick.
her 50.
Here comes Ménager. Bourdon Sansus. Kewa with a big pass out wide. Stefani this time. Had Condé on her shoulder. They get it back quickly and they need to move something here, France. Joyeux.
Tackle! No, leave it, wait!
Trying to pop that one off and move it quickly to Boulard. Bourdon Sansus, Kewa. It's loose, is it backwards? Doesn't matter, Kaber's got it. Oh, Siafani. Now, Anne-Cécile Siafani, it's the second time she's had a knock-on like that. It's only her second cap. I said earlier, she's better known for her sevens. This is a big game for her. Under a lot of pressure she might not be used to.
It is, and it's those moments that are really unforced on. The one she knocked on in the first half was unforced, no pressure, and again, that one. And it's the moments when you need France to come to life. Turnover ball, you've got the opportunity to play, and it just results in England possession again.
Contact.
Okay. There's two sides of it. She'd made a tremendous run, 40-metre run, scintillating run, and then the most basic of errors.
Okay, the picture on that one for me is you're not controlling your weight. It's causing you to chase them across. Okay. But if you clearly control your weight, I will see her standing up. Okay.
Well, there you go.
Okay, okay.
Referee just having a chat there with Amy Cockayne. You can also see on the field for England, Abby Ward is out there at the moment. Didn't start the game. It was Moena Talling who was favoured. Ward didn't feature at Twickenham last week against Ireland. But still an incredible Six Nations for her, you have to say, considering it's still less than a year since she gave birth to her first child.
Absolutely phenomenal in the position that she plays. You think in the scrum, she's under so much pressure. She's obviously had a baby, and I think she's come back, and it doesn't look like she's been away, but she's also in a position where there is so much competition. Abby Ward, Moena Talling, Zoe Alcroft, no Poppy Keel, no Sarah Beckett, no Kath O'Donnell. The list is endless for England.
Heard. Nice looping play that ends up with the ball in Kildunn's hands. She sends it down. Boulard manages to get it out towards this near side. Here comes Condé. Back inside to Boulard. This is what they came to see. French in full flight. Warning to Jess Breach, and Bourdon Sansus is off. Escudero. Kewa.
Advantage, not one.
They're just trying to force it sometimes, the French. And that one is straight out by England, though, so that's something.
Well, like the previous break on the French left, there was a player there, but when it came to look for the supporting player, she looks right and the supporting player is left.
It's the weight of that offload, O'Brien.
It's the inside.
Absolutely perfect. This again is when France aren't winning the contact. When they're not winning the contact, they're trying to throw that offline. That's what's getting them in trouble. When they win the contact, like we saw on the edge there, and she puts it into space, not a problem. But France can eradicate this from their game. They can cause England more problems.
Sosha goes in, Manager takes.
Off the leg, wait!
What confidence would a try do for France here?
Get out now, get out!
Muir is warned. Bourdon Sansus. Big run coming in there by Mwembe. Still Mwembe. Escudero. The crowd want this. They are screaming their team forwards. Big push back there in Joywa. France ball, right end of the field. The Red Roses have batted back everything so far in this second half.
Strip backwards by White.
And look at that. That's not a blue ball anymore, it's a white one again. It's a Red Roses ball, and that's Ellie Kildunn back inside to Breach. Now to Hunt. She hacks on. Who's going to chase? It's Amy Cockayne. Not something you always see, but credit where credit's due. She's there. She's slowing it down. Sosha. Well, this is end-to-end stuff. Full.
Tackle!
Escudero, the Toulouse flanker, all-action woman. And after all of that, end-to-end, harum-scarum, it's an England penalty in the middle of the field.
That lady, Alex Matthews, was absolutely outstanding. You know, she worked really hard with Meg Jones on some of them cover tackles, but at moments when you need somebody to step up and put their money on it, Alex Matthews did that for England there. Great turnover when it, like you say, sorry, had gone end to end.
Well, Ellie Kildun has caught the eye with so many Women of the Match awards, but for a consistency over the whole of the tournament, Matthews has been outstanding for me. Outstanding.
So here we go. That was a track back by Amy Cocaine. Kewad just about managed to get away. Paul, who was going forward there, all 6'2" of her as well. You could tell she had the option of playing basketball. Right then, let's head to the coaching box. Sonia, who have you got?
Oh, the med man in John Mitchell. John, I just wonder, it's all got a bit loose, isn't it? Because France know they've got to play without that extra woman on the pitch. How wary are you of that right now?
Yeah, no, it's very clear that they're throwing a lot at us. But, you know, we always knew that we're going to be in an arm wrestle. We always knew that we're going to have to win this game at least 4 times. So, yeah, there's plenty of work to do still yet.
You are in the box seat right now. This was the test that you thought you were going to get from France. What in particular has pleased you from the Red Roses?
I think we've been nice and calm, decisive, and we've controlled the front half very well in the first half. We've just got to make sure that we finish off ruthlessly with the remainder of minutes in the match.
Appreciate it, John. Good luck.
Ruthless, the word there from the head coach. What have England got here? First strong attacking platform for quite a while. Aitchison, who's been absolutely everywhere today.
No.
Spun out ball to Aldcroft, another Gloucester Hartbury player. Aitchison again, this time to Muir, offering the ballast. This time is Bottoman, one of Bristol Bears' finest. Hurd. Big passes from England to try and stretch the field. It's hacked on. Was that a poor decision? The foot chase is on. Meg Jones going back, needs to gather. And she's caught as well. Dow. Some test there for the England back three. Hurd.
Use it. 3.
Hunt. Boulard. Emile Boulard. Bottoman again, over the top, snaffling.
Clear release. Clear release.
But no.
Need a clear release as the tackle assist. 15. Okay.
Hannah Bottoman is a former painter and decorator in her former life. Now full-time rugby player. As Chloe Jacquet, known pretty much in most rugby circles as the Swiss Army knife of backline players, comes onto the field. She can slot in anywhere as Emile Boulard makes her way off the field.
Is that a compliment?
Definitely a compliment. She can do anything.
Just set it here, Marie. Claire, outside. On the 22. Yeah, you're on the line, White, on the line.
England on a record 28-game winning run in the Six Nations. France desperate to slow that process as they're closing in on win number 29.
That's once.
Matthews has got there legally. Now she's sent round. Socha still has it, but it's so far to the try line. Vernier had Condé with her. Still Vernier, so strong. France powering on. Ménager is there. Fall as well.
Leave it. Oi, leave it.
Fall. Ménager. They won't try number 3.
Backwards.
That's backwards. There's no knock on. they're so close, France. They need to find a way through this white wall.
Knock now! Still in.
Ménager again. Bourdon Sansus pushing out towards the far side. Condé. Sosha. Full. You have to give credit here to this English defensive effort. How many times have the French come and they've sucked it up? Ménager knocks on. That was some defensive set by the Red Roses.
And when the team and John Mitchell come to look at this and deconstruct their performance, that sort of effort, when effectively their game is won, going into the last 20 minutes, will count for a lot. You do also have to give the French, who are a woman down, an immense amount of credit for the way they've hung it on into this game and their physical effort. Just the simplest of mistakes, looking up just at the wrong time.
But I think some of that has come from England's defensive intensity. They have made it so hard for France in those tight situations in the 22s to get across the gain line. The likes of Ménager, Fall, the big carriers of the French team have been repeatedly knocked back.
They've made changes there for France. Emmeline Gros is now onto the field. You can also see that when France are packing down, Vernier is on the right-hand side there of the scrum, just offering that little bit of extra weight.
Set. This side.
Well, if you're French, it goes from bad to worse.
Tight head, straight down. Here.
Not technically hinging, just losing the bind.
Sorry, the mark is back here. Thank you.
Well, in the head-to-head meetings between these two sides, France have won 8 games in the Six Nations. It's England 14. They've never had a draw between the two of them. Certainly doesn't look like the averages are going to change here today.
Same ball, get out, Blue.
Ward there of Bristol, screaming on her team.
Ball's out.
Hunt, Aitchison, Jones, Kildun. Look at the fresh track in front of the Red Roses. Breach hacks it on, but she's completely miskicked that. Straight out of play.
You can see what they're trying to do, though. England want to get into those wide channels. If Jess Breach or Abby Dow have got an opposite winger in front of them, and they're just finding backfield space, and then they want to go to their defence, and they want to pressurise France. In that instance, bad execution.
This is the middle. I didn't. They've unbound.
Changes then for England. You can see going off the field. Hannah Bottoman, Amy Cockayne coming on. Connie Powell and Mackenzie Carson. Amy Cockayne, she's almost encouraging the crowd to boo her off the field.
She absolutely thrives on that as well. You know, if you want somebody to instigate and finish it, Amy Cockayne can do both roles. So she would have loved this environment today.
She is one of the most deadpan characters you'll ever come across as well. English ball. Here comes Connie Powell. Fresh legs on the field. Has made such an impact every time she's come off the bench. There's hands on that from Escudero.
Here. Keep going.
Bourdon Sansus just tripped. She's appealing. Did she fall or was she tripped? Referee is playing on. Ménager does so well to hold their feet inside the whitewash.
Backwards on white.
Bourdon Sansus. This time it's Mwembe.
Tackle, release, release.
Bourdon Sansus again, Kewa. France have been here before. They do the hard work, but can they finish it off? Vernier. Great straighten by the inside centre. Hard running line coming in once again for Joyet. Here comes Jacquet. Bourdon Sansu. Socha still on the field, going strong at 66 minutes. Big tackles raining down on full. The Red Roses have held off more than this so far in this fixture.
Go the ball. Leave it, off feet.
And look at that.
Use it.
All of a sudden, the ball just pops up on the other side again. France are running out of ideas of what to do. This has been the first real test in this Six Nations of this English defence. Sarah Hunter, former England captain, she leads that role.
Stay.
And particularly in this second half, she's going to be delighted. Pass back inside from Jacquet, finds Siofani. It's almost at times like the Red Roses are just letting France play. Almost waiting for them to make a mistake.
No, need a ground. Must release. Need a ground.
It's a great shame for France that they've not been able to capitalise on 3 or 4 of the very good breaks that Marie Ménager has made. He's really been impressive, coming into the line, making last-second runs, changing the angle, and therefore getting over the gain line quickly. Unfortunately, France have not been able to get successive breakdowns of sufficient pace to then capitalise.
Blue 5, Sank.
Well, England are making changes. You can just see there we're getting another little bit of rain coming in after what was bright sunshine in that first half.
Just stay in front of the ball.
This game will be seen out with drizzle as Lucy Packer is onto the field for Natasha Hunt. Hunt's Six Nations is over.
Here's the middle.
But she's been that regular starting 9 and she's taken her opportunity well.
Yeah, she really has. The way England are playing is suiting her. You know, she's getting that role to play quickly, that big long pass, and also to use that kicking game. And I think, like you say, she's really taken that starting shirt and made it her own.
That's once.
Zoe Allcroft in there, making all kinds of an awkward nuisance of herself. Vernier, for one so small, causes all kinds of trouble. Bourdon Sansu, Sescudero, we've been here before for France. They pass it out, long way. Conde is the one pushed backwards. Off feet.
Keep going, keep
Bourdon
going.
Sansu once more, not interested in hanging around for anything. France must be beginning to think that this is a deja vu second half. How long have they spent in this English 22 and come away with nothing? There's no one there for France. Eventually it's Bourdon Sansu who's been everywhere today. There's a big take from Vernier. She's bust through.
No.
Taken off the floor. It's going to come out to Ménager. She will score. They are the team with 14 women on the field. They are the ones that are scoring, but is this too much too late? There's just over 10 minutes left to play.
Well, it probably is too late, but how much credit do you give to a team for the constant way in which they've striven with a woman down and eventually putting in and out of place?
Totally agree, but I think that Lady Vernier's been awesome. You know, it's an easy run in the end, but it was made from her hard work. She'd come left to right. She jumped in behind this little ball there. She takes it with her fingertips. And once France's backs are in behind England, this is when they've been able to capitalise. For me, they just haven't been able to do it enough in this game, and they've made some soft errors. But Marie Ménager has been very, very good today, and well deserves her try.
The breakdown and tackle. So if we come back, I'll chat to Marley.
Lina Kewa will line this one up. Hasn't missed so far in this, and we did just hear our referee Maggie Coggerell saying she was going to speak to Marley Packer after the kick's taken.
Okay.
Great kick by Lina Kewa. And we will just listen here to Marley Packer.
Just tell me when it's done.
referee said she was going to chat to her. Doesn't seem to be at the moment. There's changes here for England, though. Hurd is going off the field, and Emily Scarratt is now on at 12. A 50th appearance in the Six Nations for Emily Scarratt today, on the occasion of her 111th cap. What a first touch by Scarratt as well. Read that beautifully.
Stay.
Pow. Ball away from Lucy Packer to Marley Packer. Not related. Right over the top of that of France, but no.
This player first. Must roll, then the jackal. You're okay? Must roll first, this player.
So the opportunity there for France to try and get something back and slow down this momentum for England. If they needed something, they needed it quick, and they're at the wrong end of the field.
Middle.
Well, it does show a degree of luxury when you turn to a player like Emily Scarratt to come on, doesn't it?
And Emily Scarratt playing in the new position of 12 now. Traditionally, players will have seen her playing outside centre. She's been encouraged now to move towards the inside. And she stood there waiting for the ball now. First receiver gives it to Aitchison. Through the middle of the park goes Kildunn. 5 metres for the Red Roses to go. Packer, Powell, popped off ball, Matthews, too easy! Great finish by Alex Matthews. She has been one of England's players of the tournament. And there's just no time now for France to do anything.
No, it was all England, wasn't it? It came from a restart. How do you want to react once you've converted? That lady was involved in the first bit. Ellie Kildunn, good strength. She ties in 3 defenders, and then France just don't get round the corner quick enough here. Connie Powell again fixes 2 defenders, and Alex Matthews has a walk-in. But it's all from the dominance of England carries. Because they're getting in behind, France aren't getting players around the corner, and England are just able to pick on their space. But it was a really, really good response from England there.
Well, that's the sort of thing which being players down does, isn't it? You can probably keep it up when you're on the front foot, when you're making the extra yard. It is far more difficult when you're tired to fall around the corner and get the numbers right. France eventually just running out of energy, not counting, not folding enough.
9, 9.
And more incredibly, that's the first time that England have actually scored since France have gone down to 14 women. Although France have got 3 tries, they've put in the best effort we've seen so far in this Six Nations, but you can just see the gulf now. And what is an incredible effort here by the Red Roses. The investment the RFU have put into this team. A mistake there from that restart.
Still under knock-on advantage.
Alexandre Chambon, who's now on at scrum half. Vernier gives it to Seophani.
No, white!
Club rugby when she's not doing 7s at Stade Francais. Down the line it goes, this time into the hands of Gros. Good line-out operator, not so well known. Now that's a big tackle by Fernati. The woman wasn't on the ball. The referee hasn't spotted it.
Yeah.
The French player did not have the ball. Eventually they do see it and they'll bring it back.
Tackle off the ball. 20.
Warning there against Maddie Fernati.
In line. Just here.
I think that was called on.
20. Tackle without the ball.
It was quite obvious to me.
20. No penalty here.
That sort of thing is close to a yellow card for me, because that's a break.
I agree, especially because if you get the end-on version of this, she's in behind, the offload is going, so you've got potentially 1 player to beat.
I'm surprised you haven't looked at that again, actually.
Well, France's reward is a 5-metre line-out, but with the clock and the time as it is, this is all about pride now.
Discipline.
Warning against England for discipline. But it doesn't matter, this Six Nations will be theirs.
All the way if you're not in.
Elisa Ripono goes short towards the front.
In the 5.
There's the warning, they need to use it, they need to get it out. And that's all of a sudden got movement on it.
Through the middle.
Escudero.
Down by blue.
Really good move. Oh, France, they're over the line, but they can't ground it.
Goal line dropout.
Wonderful work by Lucy Packer.
Thank you.
Little bit of help there, along the way by Abby Ward.
Just a little bit, given she's the smallest player on the pitch. It's a really good defensive decision, isn't it? When players are coming over your line that low, get into the ball. If you can stop the ball, you get the possession back, rather than fighting strength on strength.
Once again, the Red Roses clear their lines, down the field, no touch found. Play on, this time it goes through the hands of Grove. Scarrett trying to rip. Chambon manages to find Jacquet, Vernier, Escudero, Ménager, that was lovely. They were lucky there. Jacquet somehow got it. Romain Ménager, the Montpellier, number 8.
Advantage over for the knock-on.
The result of this fixture is going to be a 6th Six Nations title in a row for England. It will be a triple Grand Slam, but they haven't finished yet. There's still time. They're at the wrong end of the field, but they want more.
There's 3 players.
It probably was an obstruction. I'm not sure it was purposeful, more case of tired players being dragged left and right.
Well, there you go. The Guinness Women's Six Nations Player of the Match is Alex Matthews. She has been an absolute animal today, everywhere. But you have to say, she turns up and plays like that every single test.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, several times, it's not just a question of a performance in this. I think she's been the outstanding forward for England in the whole of the tournament.
Matthews, 3 turnovers made, 14 tackles.
The other thing with Alex is how she's maturing. Those turnovers came at crucial moments in the game when England needed possession.
But also, you look at the options she gives England in the line-out. She moves up and down, so England are able to vary their line-out. It gives them flexibility in terms of where and when they can attack, which is hugely important. And as a defensive read as well, she puts pressure on the opposition line-out regularly as an all-round effort, and controlling the ball at the back of the scrum. Well, simply the best this year, I think.
Okay, all good, time on, subs complete.
Last few changes for England then. Sydney Gregson onto the field, as is Kelsey Clifford. And towards the back, over the top, Connie Powell. Quins Hooker.
Inside her 50,
Packer sends it down the field. Jacquet. Dow was quickly into her face. There's still time on the clock with that going out on the far side. So it will be an England line-out. One more attack.
Here's the middle, white line-out.
That was the little bit of footwork. Once again, Matthews involved in there. She did win the World Cup with England back in 2014. There's not many of them left, but that is it.
Sorry.
No.
Okay, this is the last play. Apologies.
Oh, the referee got a little bit excited.
As you were.
Hold off the celebrations,
if you
England.
Have one
Hold
more
off.
And I don't know, c'est d'accord. See, it's fine. 5.
The party will happen after this line out.
Advantage,
well, that's loose. It's gone straight there into the hands of Jouet. Escudero. France want more out of this fixture, but it's not going to be a trophy. Kewa, Siofani,
Advantage
Jacquet. Popped off ball,
Backwards.
it's down around the ankles
Knock on
there.
blue. Okay, advantage.
It's been
Knock
knocked
on.
on, we're playing England advantage. Comes back, Aitchison will send it out, that's it! It's not just a slam, it's a triple grand slam for England. The crowd don't like it in Bordeaux, but that was hard-earned by the Red Roses. They have played a stunning brand of rugby in this Six Nations campaign. The Grand Slam trophy is there. Full-time France 21, England 42.
I think the most pleasing thing for England and for John Mitchell and all the squad is that they've been able to play with more precision and make more challenges in different ways to defences. They were premium players up front, they were driving mauls, they were scrimmaging well. Now they've got a better attacking platform, an all-round game which is testing teams in much different ways, and that is the big advance for them this season.
Well, England will start celebrating soon as we head down to studio, and Gabby.
Thank you very much, Sarah. We will, of course, be back with you in a few moments' time when the presentation of the Six Nations trophy happens. But that was a fairly emphatic victory, the scoreline would say. A second half, though, which, Sarah, France got hold of that game, didn't they, in terms of possession? They had a few more ideas about how they'd attack England's defence. Just too error-strewn.
Yeah, France played really, really well. They made England tackle them. England made more tackles, and they actually missed more tackles. France got a lot of line breaks, but it was those silly errors in those really key bits where they were going to gain momentum, they were going to get a try, and England very happy to take the ball back and just kick it back down the field.
Yeah, England had to win in a very different way, didn't they, that second half?
Yeah, you'd probably say that shows up England for how good they are as a team. They find different ways to win, and today was a tough game. It was a proper test match, but I think they were very pleased with the way that ended.
Yeah, a fantastic crowd here, 28,000 capacity crowd who were totally partisan. I mean, there's just tiny pockets at St George's Crosses everywhere, but they wanted that team to go out there and produce a result that perhaps would upset England today. They didn't quite manage to do that, France, but they gave England a better test, and that's what they've been looking for through this tournament. Until today, they'd only conceded 2 tries.
Yeah, I mean, we said it throughout the whole entire tournament. We want jeopardy, and I think we definitely got that today. You know, this French side really did push England to the very edge, and you know, John Mitchell keeps talking about it. He wants this England side to play on the edge because that's the only way they're going to get better. I do feel for this French side as well. I mean, 28,000 people here supporting them. They just made too many errors in that first half in particular, 20 errors in total. You know, that is going to cost you. And this England team, they're very good at punishing you when you make those mistakes. So you do feel for this French side as well, but at the same time, that was a strong, dominant performance from England.
So the 2024 Six Nations is complete, and it is a hat-trick of Grand Slams for England, just to confirm the table for you there, with France in second place and Ireland, who get that automatic spot for the World Cup next year. They beat Scotland earlier today, 15 points to 12, which was something of a surprise. Scotland going into that were just ahead as favourites. They were ahead in the game as well, and Ireland coming off that drubbing at Twickenham last week. A big performance for Scott Beeman's women there. And Wales getting their first win of the campaign. They still pick up the wooden spoon, but their first win against Italy in 12 years. 22-20 the final score at the Principality Stadium, and of course that means that Wales get relegated, of course, as well. So a little bit tougher for them as they head towards a World Cup next year. Katie's just made it back towards us in the studio. Enjoy that?
Yeah, I did. Like you say, you know, France probably at moments were brilliant, and then at other moments kind of you had your head in your hands. But I thought England got a test today, didn't they? It's the first time we've seen them tested. It's exactly what they need. If anything, they need more of those tests.
Yeah, well, that will be something we could talk about. We could talk about where that contest is going to come from, because France don't play, or not as many of their women play, full-time professional rugby as England. They haven't got the strength and depth in that respect. They clearly have got talent.
Yeah, look, England have the Premiership Women's Rugby, which is our domestic league, which is incredibly strong. We've got players from all over the country coming to play in that domestic league, and there's more professional players that play there. And then France, they have the Elite One, so there's currently 12 teams in that, and actually Montpellier and Toulouse are very dominant in that field. So that's the challenge. When you haven't got that many players who are playing at top level, you know, when it comes to international level, it's not exactly the same.
Marley Packer there, she looks like, we just have a look, these are our French director. It chooses the shots. He might not want to dwell too much, he or she, on the England team talk there. But Marley Packer was really going at it there, Sarah. What kind of stuff would you be saying?
She's just saying what credit to the girls. Like, they didn't have the ball a lot in that second half. And some of these shots that were going in were incredible. There was two-man shots sending people back, Meg Jones sending players back 10, 20 metres. So honestly, they'll just be in there saying, well done. Sometimes you have to win ugly. And in that second half, England really did that.
Yeah, they really did draw on their forwards experience, didn't they? And Captain Packer is now with Sonia.
Well, Marley, you just said to me, what a game! How proud it's led to a Grand Slam.
Yeah, super proud of all the girls. It's not just today, but the 7 weeks leading into this. We've been building as a group on and off the pitch, and you know, I think we're well and truly into the John Mitchell era now, the way we want to play, and you know, we keep growing as a group. And yeah, we've just won a Grand Slam here in Bordeaux, and what an amazing atmosphere it's been. Been quite hostile, obviously, it's the French crowd, but you know, this means that we can turn it up when we need to.
Just seen you looking very energised in that team huddle. Take us in there, keep it clean, but what was it you were saying?
Just that I'm super proud of the girls, and that we've just won a Grand Slam here in France. And you know, we've got smiles on our faces, but we're not celebrating like we've just won a Grand Slam. And I think, you know, that shows the toll of the last 7 weeks, but also the magnitude of playing here in France. And yeah, the girls, like I said, I'm just super proud of them.
They're just putting the presentation platform up. What will it mean to you now to be the person who lifts that trophy high up into this sky tonight?
Yeah, it means everything, but I'm just lifting it with the girls. It's not me on my own. Every player, the players that are not here, helped us get to finish this job. And you know, it's taken a real squad effort, and not just us as players, not just the coaching staff, but also the backroom staff. How much the physios and everyone puts into for us to put a performance like that on the pitch.
Well done to you. Enjoy the moment.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm sure she will. Marley Packer, with her enormous experience. You can see the way John Mitchell has, in this tournament, he's rested her for a game, took her off 60 minutes for a couple of games as well. She's 34 years old, but her experience, her guile, you know, her passion for this team is so important. And as we're just over a year out, as we head towards that World Cup, it's about managing these players, isn't it?
Yeah, and also growing the young guys. You want to give them experience. You want to give players experience in these really hard environments, because you never know what's going to happen with injuries. We saw a lot of injuries in the World Cup, and players had to step up, and you want your players to be ready, because if that does happen, you want to still be able to put a team that's going to win you a World Cup.
And she sounded knackered in that interview. You can tell that was a physical battle, and like you've already touched on, every player had to really stand up and put in a performance. Cabello was brilliant, Matthews, absolutely outstanding. Zoe Allcroft, you can keep going on, and even the players, when they come off the bench, they put in a performance.
It was interesting, though, Katie, wasn't it? We talked about the tries that the back three had scored, 18 before today. We talked about this free-flowing, more expansive rugby, and actually today at times it came down to that attritional rugby that we've seen England excel at so much in the past. It came down to being successful in the maul. It came down to the set piece.
It really did. And, you know, England have a phenomenal set piece, but they've also got some phenomenal athletes, like these guys have touched on. The Alex Matthews, for me, it came from a gain line. England's forwards out-carried France's forwards, and then you've got the likes of Meg Jones out there. I think the backs were quiet, probably not to what we saw against Ireland, but their gain line, their carry, the physicality that England brought in attack and defence is head and shoulders above everybody else in this tournament at the moment.
Yeah, the players are waiting to be called up for the trophy lift, chatting away. You know, this is a hat-trick of Grand Slams, right? It was an enormous achievement. But this England team, you could just see even by their demeanour, they expect to win. They are in a groove of performance. They're now 29 games in the Six Nations unbeaten, and it's not their fault that nobody else is coming to challenge.
No, absolutely not. I think John Mitchell touched on it, the composure that this side have, and look, they are aiming to build, so it's about building on their performances, evolving. You know, there's players like Natasha Hunt, who's a very experienced player, but there's young players like Cabello, and you keep going on. how do you build this group of players to take a World Cup? That's their big priority. And actually being able to win a Grand Slam in France in front of 28,000 people, that's how you build resilience, that's how you build character, and you feel this squad is definitely growing.
100%. Their defensive sets on their line, when France kept coming in that second half, are the moments that I think they will, when they review, they'll be really, really pleased at. Because like you say, people aren't giving that to them. They're not coming, they're not challenging them regularly. So when you do get it, you need to be able to flick a switch and step up. I think, like you say, like as England build to World Cups, moments like this, away in France with this kind of hostile crowd, you hope it's not like that in England in 2025. But the crowds, those moments are going to be key.
And the medals have started. Anna Bodderman there, and Sarah Orchard can talk us through the presentation.
Thanks, Gabby. England making their way up. Medals being presented by Rob Bryers, Gareth president, also Granine Wafer, who works for Diageo. Of course, Guinness, the sponsor of this Six Nations. Alex Matthews, player of the match. She'll have more than one medal around her neck. Holly Aitchison now, immaculate with the boots in this final match. And you have to say, Brian Moore alongside me here, for Holly Aitchison to come out and produce a performance like that with her kicking, the one area of scrutiny for England, she turned up.
Yes, completely, and it just shows character. It's always, their kicking is never easy, the best of times, but to respond in the way she's done is exactly the sort of player I think we all knew she was.
Yeah, certainly.
Looking at a whole on this, it is very easy to suddenly be dismissive and say, oh, well, you've got more professional players or your game is more advanced. Well, you still have to go out and do it. You still have to deliver, and England keep delivering, and the most important thing is they've delivered in a more expansive way this time round.
Well, there we go, the last few players coming up for their medals. Saracens' Marley Packer steps up. She will be presented with the trophy by the chief exec of the Six Nations, Tom Harrison. And before the big moment, she will go and join her team. She's making them wait. She's enjoying her moment. But here we go. England, Six Nations champions again. It's a Grand Slam, and they will not apologise for it. They have dominated this tournament. Can anyone catch them?
I have to also say, you can't see it probably on the pictures, but a good few thousand French fans have stayed here and applauded that win. So credit to them for their sportsmanship.
Well, the party is off here around the stadium. How is it down by you, Gabby?
Yeah, the crowd, as Brian said, have stayed. I think they're also cheering their women because they're walking around the pitch and receiving the applause of the crowd, who I think have been royally entertained today, because that was a great test match. You're sitting watching that at home, and there's been some fantastic rugby, some great tries. England having to play ugly at times. We've seen flashes of that brilliant attacking play that we've seen throughout this tournament as well. It had everything.
Yeah, it did, and I think that's what you want. The final game of the season, we talk about, you look at England celebrating there, it'll mean a lot to them. But for us, the game was phenomenal. It was a very, very good game, and England were awesome. The defence won them in the end. I thought France, yes, they had some moments in attack, but if you don't put an 80 minute, you can't win.
And is this now, do you think, John Mitchell has had these women, he's had them in camp, he's taken them through this tournament, his first tournament as head coach. Do you think now this is the identity of the John Mitchell side we've seen really grow and develop through this tournament?
Yes, definitely. I think when they first started from round one against Italy, even though they won by quite a big score, they didn't necessarily put in the best performances. They had lots of yellow cards, lots of red cards. But you feel this game really did show the true essence of this England side. They put in a real grafting effort to get the win. They also defended, like Katie Daly-McQueen's already highlighted, but their attack and their tries, brilliant. And this is the side they should be celebrating.
And two things we focused on was, one of them was the kicking, the pre-match of Ireland at 41%. Holly Aitchison went in with that. The other was the reds and the yellow cards. And today, the kicking was pretty impeccable from Holly. And of course, the reds and yellows not to be seen. They were out there, weren't they, with fantastic discipline. Okay, Sonia, who have you got?
It's England's glorious halfbacks who are going to have a party. Of that, there is no doubt. Just describe the emotion standing up there, Mo, with the trophy.
Oh, you put me on the spot. I'm going to get all teary. Just so much, like, so much has happened. This group means so much to me. And obviously, like, my journey's been, like, spoken about quite a lot. So to be able to, like, own it and do it with a smile on our faces, especially with this girl, is just unbelievable.
Yeah, Holly, not so long ago you were queen of the Seven Circuit. Here you are winning Grand Slams again. What does this mean to you?
I wouldn't say queen of the Second Circuit, but we played a bit, yeah. Everything, like, we've worked really hard this campaign about our synergy in particular, and just how we can make ourselves better individually and then as a team, and I think we showed that today.
You certainly did. That second half, 7-7. You were in an arm wrestle, weren't you, Mo? And what were you thinking at the point that they got the red card, which seemed to fire France into life?
Yeah, massively. I think we talked in the week about it being an arm wrestle, and we knew it's always so hostile coming to France and playing them, but we love it. And for us, it was just about wrestling that momentum back, which we struggled a little bit. Like, obviously, we want to go to the boot to be able to do it, and some kicks a little bit off, but the girls were just unreal. They stuck in the fight and couldn't be prouder.
Well done to you both. I don't have to encourage you to go out and enjoy this moment because I think you're going to go and do that. Well done to you. Grand Slam champions, you deserve it. Well done.
So much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. The party started in the studio. We were told Ellie was coming down, but we've got Ellie, we've got Meg, we've got Jess here. And unusually, no tries today, but wow, what a game, what a performance.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, hats off to the forwards because it was an easy day for the backs. It wasn't like what our other games have been, but I'm just so happy to almost silence the French. It's good being away and playing against them.
Yeah, you mentioned the forwards, and I know perhaps it's not fair to talk about forward play, but it felt like early on that dominance did silence the crowd because they, you could see they wanted to be aggressive towards you. They wanted to get into you, but you didn't allow them to. Oh, we've got one. The forwards joined us. Marley. Congratulations, Marley. We've just heard you talking to Sonia and just saying this was a day for the forwards today. We've seen the backs be scintillating throughout this tournament, but the forwards put in a shift.
Yeah, massively. And, Alex Matthews has been amazing all tournament and she thoroughly deserves man of the match. But also Zoe Alcoff, Abby Ward coming off the bench. Maud Muir, she had a great game for us. Wow. Just 1-2-8. Oh my God, what's going on? Sorry, but literally 1-2-8, everybody just played their role, and that's what we knew we needed to come here and do. And we put the performance on and we got the result we won. There's stuff we'll learn, we'll grow as a group, but hey, let's enjoy tonight and then we get back to it for WXV.
I'm sure you will enjoy tonight, but that was important, wasn't it, as a test for you women to have that match today?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely a match. Like, the crunch is the game that everyone wants to play, especially in front of this hostile crowd. And we definitely learn and grow. And yeah, these are the games that I think we dream of, especially the ones we have at Twickenham as well. And this is just phenomenal.
Quiet night tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, quiet.
Yeah, boys.
You got a flight 4 in the morning?
Yeah, we have to be at the airport.
And nobody sleeps tonight. Nobody sleeps tonight.
We got a flight at 7 a.m.
Thank you so much for entertaining us throughout the tournament. Congratulations on your hat-trick of Grand Slams. Brilliant performance. Thank you. They are back to work very quickly, as alluded to there by Captain Packer. And you can see it all on the BBC. Round 17, Saracens against Gloucester Hartbury. Saturday, the 25th of May, 12 o'clock. And then we've got the semi-final on Sunday the 9th at 4:30, with the final coming up on the 22nd at 3 p.m. Well, they deserve the glory. They deserve to have a big party tonight because they've had a fantastic Six Nations, a great test against France today. And of course, back to the day job soon, but this will bode well in terms of the build-up to a World Cup.
It's everything that you need in the final game of Six Nations. We talked that England weren't tested. Today they got a test. They fronted up and they showed what they can do in moments of stress, and for me that's huge.
And what's really exciting is we've seen a different side of France. They had a red card and they actually fought back. Sometimes in previous years France have looked a little bit defeated. I remember Hermé walking into a line-out once just going, I don't know who to throw to. So yeah, great to see them.
Sarah, great to have you with us. Get fit, get back with them. We hope to see you back playing soon. Of course, Maggie, always brilliant throughout this tournament, and Katie as well. A fantastic win for England today, a brilliant Grand Slam. We'll see you soon.
It's Grand Slam time, and it comes down to this. Bottomman popped up! Try for England! It's too easy for England! Bernier goes over! Oh, it's a stop by Meg Jones!
it's been upgraded to a red card.
Popped off ball, Matthews, too easy! It's not just a slam, it's a triple grand slam for England.